No, 73. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are.
Hello.
73,
Hello.
number episode 73. We're catching up, trying to get to that 100 mark. If it's your first time, please say hi to us. Say first timers.
Yeah,
or
look
if
at that chat already.
kind of like if when you go see Rocky Horror Picture Shadowcast, if you're a virgin or not. Any virgins in the chat? If you're first time here in the podcast, let us know. That is our topic tonight. It's going to be Rocky Horror Picture Show. We're going to talk the movie. We're going to talk Shadow Play. We're going to talk what we thought about it. This is your first time watching it, right?
Oh, I've actually seen Rocky Horror Picture Show before.
I think it was Nikolai said he's seen it, but he's not.
Nikolai can't stand it.
He's not a
Yes,
big fan of it.
He said he
See,
does
there's
not
two.
like
There's
it.
two kinds of theater kids. There's theater kids like me that love Rocky Horror Picture Show and are in it every chance I get, and Nikolai who hates Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I have not met anybody who hates it yet. I have met tons of people who loved it. And then when I told them I had never seen it, this is now a few years ago because I have seen it, and I told them, oh, I never saw that. They're like, what? You have never seen it? What is wrong with you? And you love sci-fi, Brie.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, sorry.
It's a little bit of everything. So hopefully we'll have some cool fun facts for you guys of the movie you didn't know. We'll break down the difference between the play and the Shadowcast. One thing I found out, I actually never watched it. Nikolai watched it, so he's coming in as the guy who didn't like it, but seen a version of the movie I had never seen.
Oh, that's right.
So there's
yeah.
a UK version and an
Oh.
American version.
Oh, I did not know about the UK version.
Neither
Neither
did
did
I.
I.
It was on Nikolai's DVD version, and then he
Oh.
Googled it and sent it to me. And we'll get into what makes the difference. But there is two versions of the movie,
Oh wow.
and it's just the difference between one song.
Oh, isn't that
a
interesting?
song.
Yeah,
Ooh, is he going to sing it for
Whoa.
us?
I hope so.
'Cause he
Um,
does theater as well. I also like the Glee version. Has anyone seen the Glee? I'm sure Nikolai has with his friend and all, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
I haven't seen it.
oh, I
Yeah.
love Glee so much.
I have a weird thing with like I always pick on people like over here when they like, do you like this version? Like, no, and I'm like, you're part of a shadow play. Like that's
You
I
should like all
I like when
versions,
everyone tries
including
it.
Adam Lambert.
Yeah, I like when
Adam
everyone.
Lambert. I will say, the
Love
only
him.
good part about that ABC version was Adam Lambert.
I love him
I
so
disagree. I liked
much.
it.
Oh,
I love it.
hated
I like it better
'Cause
than the original.
So I'm probably
Sorry.
such a purist on it, where I'm just kind of like,
But I like how everyone takes their own version. Like everyone kind of takes their liberties. I dig it. Like the version we went and seen had a lot of differences. They added a song that wasn't in the movie. Like they made their own song to add to it. They added more to scenes. They spun off a little bit. They had more fun with it. So I like when people try to take liberties. I think that's what makes the show fun. You know, I dig it. I don't know. I'm into it.
I also saw Jim Thorpe's burlesque version of it last year, and it was also
Ooh.
very good.
Mhm.
Now, Jim Thorpe does a burlesque every year,
Mhm.
and they changed their theme. Last
which is
year
like
it
a
was
burlesque, but for boo.
yes,
Boo.
and it is always so hard to get in, and they change the theme every year. And last year it was Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, Rocky Horror Picture Show already is a burlesque show, even if
Basically.
it's not a burlesque
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Yes, it was so good.
It's
so
it's a male and female I don't want to say cross. I almost said the wrong thing there. Burlesque show because
Yes.
everyone's in. I guess the term would be drag, right? There's
Yeah.
a lot of drag, a lot of
Mhm.
yeah. It's a very open pride, I would say, movie, eccentric movie. It's amazing. It's really really good.
I love it.
Took my grandma to see it, and like I said, we'll get into some of the scenes they may have added that was like, whoa, baby.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. But yeah, so we'll get into some news. Nikolai will be joining us probably within the next 15, 20 minutes.
Mhm.
We're starting a little later because Nikolai works a little later now. So we're starting a little later so Nikolai can come and at least have more than 15 minutes of talk. So I appreciate you guys for staying a little longer. I know people have work in the morning, so I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys hanging out a little later with us too. If you can't hang out with us the entire time, the replays are always there. Make sure you check the links below. Show us some love over on YouTube. We are getting close to the 500 mark on subscribers. The goal is 1,000, so let your friends and family know that we're over on YouTube, or log into different devices and hit that subscribe button. Help us out.
Heck
And then
yeah.
we do have merchandise and stuff as well if you want to grab a T-shirt. The Facebook group is almost at 700 people, so that's really cool. We are making more and more, and people who are participating in the posts, thank you so much.
Oh my gosh,
It's really
yeah.
cool. We're having like debates over Catwoman and now James
Yeah,
Bond.
I
that's
love
so
James Bond so
great.
much.
And posting like news of what TV shows are like everyone's really
Yeah.
participating, and it's a great place to kind of stay up to date on all things pop culture, which is, and it's not just the people who are on the podcast running the page. It's very it's a community. It's fun.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
I changed the tag, the name of the group to the community, but
I
when you
saw that.
tag it, it doesn't change the tag. Like it doesn't add community to it yet.
I saw.
So hopefully that changes soon. Because when you
It
tag
might
it,
just be to need time to update. And
yeah,
through
let's
the,
hope so.
Through the
All right, what do we got
algorithm
so
or
far?
whatnot.
I'm not a fan of either. I understand it's a cult classic, but I just don't understand it. That's very fair.
Yeah,
It
very,
is.
very
Yeah,
fair.
I
Oh
think
my
a lot.
Yeah,
I
it
think a
is
lot
different.
of. I think a lot of people don't understand it. I think the
Mhm.
best way to describe it is it's a funny version of Frankenstein.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
great way.
Yeah, it's a
Musical
yeah,
Frankenstein.
it's a musical Frankenstein with
It's also like if you've ever seen the movie The Room, which is just like it's another cult where it's
Yes.
so bad that it's good.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's that cult thing where it's like you either hate it or you love it, like there's no in between. So it's like it's a very niche thing. So if you don't like it and don't understand it, don't worry. Half of us that love it don't understand it anyway. It's just a thing.
Yeah, my dad said he tried to watch the movie at one point in time and he didn't understand it, thought it was stupid and turned it off. But
Mhm.
then went to a shadowcast or a theatrical version where people played it on theater, and he now wants to go watch the movie because he had such a good time
Mhm.
at watching it. Because like watching a shadowcast or a theater version too, you're encouraged to scream at the
Hell yeah.
Yes.
It's a different
and
experience.
yell different things, and it's very vulgar and it's very funny,
Mhm.
Yep.
and you're encouraged to heckle.
Yep.
And
Yep.
my dad was kind of like, "This is fucking hilarious!" Like he had,
dude.
yeah.
And
So
don't they like when you throw rice and stuff too? At
Yeah.
least at
Yeah,
the
there's
burlesque I
different.
went
Yeah,
to, they
there's
did.
different parts.
toilet paper.
Yep.
Mhm.
The rice is like when they go to like the wedding or whatnot.
Well,
and
they
it's just
changed
like-
their rice to bubbles.
Oh.
Yes, because it hurts. It hurts
Or
when
the
you
birds.
get hit with
Oh,
it.
that and then I
And
guess
the
whole-
birds.
yeah.
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 So I know a lot of the ones I go to, they don't do rice anymore. They all blow bubbles.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'll get into one of my first news topics here. There's two of them here. So it's pretty much Microsoft confirms that Halo 5 will not be in the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, that's weird.
I didn't expect it to, because the Master Chief Collection is kind of everything before Xbox One in one game. So all of the stuff that was 360, original Xbox and up. So Halo 5 is already part of the Xbox culture, so I don't understand adding it to the game. With Game Pass, it doesn't makes much sense to me either, because Halo Reach and everything was added to it to kind of just keep everything that wasn't already an Xbox like Series X game on. So it doesn't bother me at all. Everyone's saying it's very disappointing. I don't see how it is. That's just me though. Because the Game Pass is a thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying like if you buy Master Chief, you're like, oh, I'm gonna get another game later on.
Mhm.
It's already free on Game Pass. Just it's there. But the Halo Infinite did get pushed back. It was supposed to be coming early next year because it was supposed to be a launch game, and then it was going to be early this next year and be like a first quarter game. Now it's looking that it might be another whole year before
Oh.
Halo Infinite comes out. I think they really want to tune it, and
Mhm.
they were talking about possibly releasing the multiplayer first and then releasing the story later, because the multiplayer is going to be free to play, kind of like Call of Duty is now.
Mhm.
So you could play Warzone for free, but if you want to play the other version of multiplayer, you have to pay for it. So it's kind of up in the air what's going to happen there. So that's my little first bit of video game news. So what do you got?
Oh, so I have three different stories. First, they confirmed that there will be 2 more movies of Fast and Furious, and then they'll be ending the franchise. I'm seeing
Boy,
that.
has that movie gone Askew.
It's very. I mean, I fell behind, so I can't really say much. But I do think, from what I do know, it's changed a little bit from the beginning.
A
but
little.
like I said, I fell behind.
They literally went from street racing cars to like saving the world from nuclear disaster.
Oh,
I
did they?
haven't-
I'm
I
really
haven't
far.
seen any of the movies, so that's
Oh.
wild to me.
Oh, that's real different then.
It went from Vin Diesel being chased by the cops as
Yeah.
Paul Walker being an undercover cop trying to take down illegal street racers to now Vin Diesel is a fucking superhero and he's solving international drug cartel problems.
Oh wow, that is different. What they should have kind of. I mean, I'm still gonna watch all of them as somebody who has kind of grown up with this franchise. Like it came out when I was in high school,
Yeah.
and I absolutely love Vin Diesel. For everybody who does not know that, now you know that I love Vin
You know
Diesel.
what my favorite Vin Diesel movie is? I want you to try to guess.
Boiler Room.
No.
What's those
The
movies?
Pacifier.
No.
No, it's the sci-fi. Is it Triple X?
No. You want to know what it is?
Reddick.
Iron Giant.
Oh, I didn't see
Oh.
Iron Giant.
I was
Oh,
gonna
that's the
say,
kitty one. It
Yeah,
looks really cute.
Or he was the robot.
I like
wasn't he?
He
Groot
was
he's
the
too?
Groot. I was just about
He
to
was
say he's
Groot,
also
yeah,
Groot.
yeah.
It's the Guardians
He was
of the
the
Galaxy.
he was the voice.
I just
of,
love Vin Diesel.
Yeah. But anyway, back to what you were saying.
Did you
Yeah.
ever see him
Unless-
breakdancing?
I'm trying to think if I did.
Like he has a full head of hair and he's breakdancing. He's like in a breakdancing
Oh
video.
yeah, you know what? I did see that. I love it.
He did a commercial for Street Shark toys back in the day.
Yeah.
the Street Shark toys, and this is the cool one. And he fights this one.
I just love him so much. I don't even care. I don't care what he does.
No,
I think he's great.
I think he's hilarious.
He
I
is.
think he's great. I love
He's
him.
very versatile too, because he could do like kids movies. He does youth
Let's not
movies.
say versatile.
I
alright?
think he is.
He's as versatile as Keanu Reeves.
Let
the
me
same-
have this,
He's
Tony.
the same guy in every movie.
She's like, let me have this
I
one.
don't care.
Vin
I
Diesel,
don't really
act
care.
surprised. I'm fucking surprised right now.
I don't care what he does.
He's
great.
really good at doing action, and he's really good at doing comedy.
Yes.
Yeah, so
And
he can
Also
do action.
versatile.
And some of the
on that aspect,
And
he's very
and
versatile.
some of the comedy, he's not even trying.
I don't care. He's good. Don't be.
Thank you so much for the share, Mary. Appreciate that. And what's going on? We're gonna read the chats in a bit. Where we obviously.
You should find some like Marvel.
roasting Vin Diesel for no reason. Apparently.
Yeah, find some like Marvel like brass knuckles. Be like, this is my update on nerd jewelry. And just like-
There it is.
It says
Let me
Diesel
let
on
me
my
try.
head.
Let me try this out on Tony right here.
it does. It says Diesel.
It says Diesel across my forehead.
And then is great right underneath it. Free advertisement for Vin. So yeah, that will be coming to an end. For some people, happily. For other people, sadly.
I think it's time.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. I kind of wish, now that I know what you said about him changing his character, it kind of stuck to illegal streetcar racing, because that's what I liked. But oh well, it's fine.
Yeah, it
It's fine.
it was a huge leap.
Yeah, that
It
is a
happened
big
so,
leap.
It happened so fast.
Because he was like a criminal, and they know now he is.
He's still a
I'm-
criminal, but he's just like, I take the law in my own hands.
So he's a vigilante.
Okay.
We have more respect. Well, if you like
I
Batman,
think
which who
John
doesn't?
Cena's going to be in the
He
next
is.
one.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Yeah.
even more excited about that. We have Vin Diesel, The
Is it just gonna
Rock,
be him,
John
like,
Cena. I am thrilled.
Going through a wall, and he comes and just goes,
Oh, and Roman
"Are you
Reigns.
sure about that?"
And also Roman Reigns, because he is in the side story.
Oh, okay.
They had a little side story.
Yeah.
Because The Rock is in, The Rock and Roman
They
Reigns.
just need
are
Hulk
cousins.
Hogan in it, and then you have every generation of the golden
Of
ticket
wrestling.
holder of WWE.
That's fine with me. You bring them all in, brother. Bring them all in. It's
Hulk-
terrible.
Hulk
terrible.
Hogan comes in and sees two people, all the people of color. He's like, I'm not gonna say it, guys. Don't worry,
Yeah, right.
Oh,
my
that was so
God.
bad. So bad.
brother.
Brother.
That's his cold word. He wants to say it, so he just says brother instead.
Brother.
Oh
Yeah.
God.
He's from
Well.
Florida. You got to come break.
Yeah. Poor Hulk Hogan.
Damn
Oh.
Floridians.
They're
Always
crazy
pushing the
down there.
limits.
Do you have any news? We'll do like circle table here.
I do want to do one thing that my dad and I just finished Haunting of Bly Manor,
Okay.
and I mean I'm not going to put any spoilers out because it's on Netflix if you want to see it. But it was probably one of the best shows in my history. That
A lot
I've
of people
seen.
didn't like it.
Really?
I think they were trying to
I'm
compare it
watching
too
it.
much to the first one.
No, see, you can't do that because they're completely different.
That's what I said too.
But it's like the story and the way like they like break down what the afterlife looks like for people, and it's something that I've never seen before,
Mhm.
and it's like something like that kind of follows like my personal like feelings on what happens during the afterlife. but it's just like so beautifully done, and then it just kind of like this whole like theme of just like true love like is everlasting, and which is something that you kind of never really see, but it's if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's absolutely incredible, and I just know that I watched the end of it for the second time today with my dad, and I was like, I got to talk about this today because
Yeah.
it was just gorgeous.
The someone said in the chat, Jen said in the chat, the ending got her. She had to look it up, what it meant. I haven't gone that far yet, but what I liked about it more than I liked in the first one relied a lot on jump scares and like kind of like the creepy, scary aspect of things, and this one was more of a psychological scare.
Ooh.
Like it didn't like almost you were anticipating the jump scares because if you watched the first one, you were waiting for it. So then I feel like a lot of people didn't get those jump scares, and then were disappointed they didn't get them.
Maybe because like along with the first season, The Haunting of Hill House, um, I found myself doing the same thing I did with the last season, where it was just like the storylines would come in, and you don't know what the hell is going on until like the next 3 seasons, and then you're just like, oh my god, like not like seasons, next 3 episodes, and you're like, what you said the whole time? It was like
Yeah.
I love that so much, and there's like little things like when a little bit of a spoiler. There's what they call dream hopping, like the dead people, like they get tucked into one of their memories and they have to like figure out that they're in a memory, and that it's not real. And you'll
Like a
notice,
residual haunting.
yeah, and you'll notice that,
Truth Behind Illusion, if you're gonna check that out.
yeah, right. And you'll notice that in the scenes, like I noticed it with the Peter Quinn character when he had his thing when he was going back to talk to his mom. There are little flags on the wall, like little decor, like little triangular flags or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And when it got to like the root problem in that memory of what like, because it was like a traumatic memory that you have to live through, when they brought up his dad is when like his big issue was like the one, it just like it was askew. Kind of reminded me of like Inception, how it's like you always keep this with you, so like if it goes bad, like you know you're in a dream type thing. It was just the little things like that
Yeah.
that shit really is nice. I love that.
I like that
Yeah,
too.
I have to finish it, so that definitely is on my radar.
Mm.
Dexter is coming back in fall of 2021 for 10 episodes. I enjoyed I know a lot of people didn't like the last couple seasons. I enjoyed the last couple seasons. I liked it literally all the way up until the very last 3 seconds of the end of the episode.
It was weird, yeah.
Like I was like, what's gonna happen? And I was like, that's it.
I heard a lot of people were
Just
disappointed.
sails away.
Yeah, I was like, he's a fucking lumberjack. Like, that's
Oh wait, I'm thinking he didn't sail away. That wasn't the last.
Well, he does. He sails away into the storm, and people think
Yeah.
he dies. But then at
That's
the
what I
very
thought.
end, he's living in a He's like a lumberjack, like working in a log mill in like Oregon or something like that.
I must have missed that part, or I
Yeah.
just didn't remember
There's
it.
a very quick scene at the end. Yeah.
Oh, I must have forgotten. It's been
Yeah.
a while.
Well, if we're kind of sneaking news into what we've been watching, did anyone watch the Hubie movie, the Adam Sandler Hubie
No.
Halloween?
I hear
No.
it's great.
I liked it a lot. People hated it.
Why?
I think.
I keep seeing good things
Yeah,
about
a
it.
lot of people are like, oh, it's too corny, but it was an Adam Sandler movie.
I was gonna say you go see the Adam Sandler
Love
movie for the
him.
corniness.
It was a great balance between adult humor as well as kid humor. It reminded me of like a modern, like a newer version of like the Billy Madison or stuff like that,
Oh, then I have to watch
where
it.
it was like there is stuff that's for adults in there, but you can probably still watch it with kids. Like the mother, she goes thrift shopping all the time, and she comes and she just gets these shirts that she doesn't know what they mean. So every scene, she's in a different shirt that says like "I shaved my balls for this."
I love that.
The one says "Kayaking makes me wet." Yeah, so she has all these stupid shirts.
That sounds
on.
like Heidi.
Yeah. So it's just like I don't know. I really
love
like.
him.
There's a lot of callbacks to other movies too. Like the one scene he's talking about, like I was in love with my teacher at one point in time, which would be Billy Madison,
Oh my god.
and then it was like they talked about like mini golfing or something like that, or playing golf or something, or hockey. So there's all these different references to other Adam Sandler universe movies. It was I thought it was entertaining. Like it was definitely corny, and it was definitely made to be corny, but it was good.
That's what he does.
It was no worse than
Jack and
fucking-
Jill.
No, what was that movie you made me watch? Halloween Town. It was no worse than Halloween Town.
movie
Oh,
that you
God.
made me watch.
Yeah.
Oh, Halloween Town was cute.
I love.
I don't think
Halloween
Adam Sandler puts out a bad movie. I really don't.
There
I
are
don't
some.
think so either.
There's
I mean,
some, there's some
can't-
that are like, ooh.
the
I
Cobbler.
love them all.
Do you see the Cobbler?
Oh, that I did not see.
That's absolute garbage. But
Jack and-
I love it.
I didn't like Jack and Jill too much.
I think
I
it's
don't know if I saw
I
that
think
one.
it's just because I love Adam Sandler so much that
He's the
it's
best.
just kind of like his movie could be shit, but it's just like
What's your
yeah.
favorite Adam Sandler movie?
Oh, Billy Madison, hands down.
That's also my favorite.
Big Daddy.
Oh, Big
That's
Daddy's
another
real
good one.
good.
See, Big Daddy for me, because me and my little brother are so far apart in age,
Mhm.
that like that reminds me of like raising my brother.
Aw.
Aw,
Like
that's
yeah, that was
cute.
like our
Yo,
movie growing up.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, that was
Must
like
eat ketchup for
our
dinner.
movie growing up. Because like when I would have to babysit him or like watch him, I was so unprepared, and I
Aw.
was like a
You're like,
giant. But I was still a child too, so it was like I was like I
Yeah.
don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And he's like, I
I'm
just
like-
peed the bed, and I'm like, all right, well then sleep on the floor. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Sleep on the couch, not the floor.
I don't know. Like I put newspaper down on it and call it a day. Like yeah, that was I don't know.
That's nice.
Uncut gems. Why? All right.
What was that weird
Thank you for the
noise?
message, Heidi.
Oh, hi, Heidi.
Midstream, she just like, let me just
Hi.
drop this on you. I thought I just lost everything.
While you're doing that, can I open up one of these bangs?
Sure. I'm trying to mute stuff without messing up everything.
This one's the Sour Heads one. I'm
Ooh,
nervous.
I don't think I'm gonna like that one. There's no grapefruit in any of these, right?
I see.
I
I
don't
started
know.
watching Unkept Gems, but the it gave me such high anxiety. I had to turn it off.
Which one?
Uncut Gems.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
He's a diamond, like a diamond guy.
Yes, I heard about
but
that.
he also is like a really bad gambling addict. And the whole
Yes.
time you're watching the movie, like he finally gets ahead of his problems and then buries himself 6 feet more deep in his problems again.
Okay.
Like he just finally gets ahead of everything and then ruins it again. And it's it's like you're watching. I don't know how it ends, so if I spoil it by saying this, I'm sorry. But the whole time you're like, he's gonna die. Like he's dying. There's no other way
Oh.
around this. His past, is, like, every mistake he's making is gonna catch up to him, and he's going to die. And every single time he would just make these horrible mistakes, I'm like, I can't do this. Like my anxiety is going through the roof. I had to turn it off. I
Holy
didn't hate
shit.
the movie. It's kind of like imagine if Shameless. You ever watch Shameless?
Oh, I like Shameless.
So imagine if the entire thing was just on Frank the whole time,
Oh,
and there was no
I'd
escape.
die.
There was no escape of Fiona. There was no escape of another character. You're just
Uh-huh.
watching Frank fuck up his
Ooh,
family
that's
every.
too much.
It's too much. Like
Yeah.
Shameless is great, but I like the way they separate not just being on Frank and they go to other characters to let
Mhm.
your anxiety kind of calm down because you're like he's messing up the whole family,
That's what he does.
right?
Yeah.
So
that's
imagine
what-
just the camera only being on Frank, but that's Uncut Gems.
Okay.
So the whole time you're just like this fucking guy. I can't
Oh,
deal
you're
with
giving
it.
me anxiety
Yeah,
now.
it was-
I didn't have it before, but now I do.
was too
Comparing him
much.
to Frank.
It's too much.
Oh my god.
This one's actually pretty good.
All right, so we're trying to bang out. Oh,
Hmm.
that immediately made my teeth hurt.
Really? Is
Not
it
me.
too sweet?
Like I felt like I just chewed on aluminum.
Oh.
I think it's good. It doesn't
And
taste
I drink
sour.
I drink sour beers.
This doesn't
It's not
taste
sour.
at
It's just
all.
I don't know.
It is sweet.
It tastes. It's not terrible. It has a good aftertaste. Which one is this? Sour what?
Sour heads.
Sour Heads by Bang.
Show it to everybody here.
Bang.
It's on the camera.
This is
At
one
a
that I
bad
can
angle. Sour
stomach.
Heads.
The two last week just tasted straight up like aspartame to me. So I couldn't. But
This one-
this one's okay.
This one's kind of there for me
Mm.
with that experience.
I getcha.
So what else you got? It's called Hubie Halloween. It is on Netflix if you want to check it out.
I will be checking that one out. So next on the list of news is Power Rangers for our Power Ranger fans, if we have any. Those of us who grew up with it are probably Power Ranger fans. I know I am.
Watch season
you.
1 and then never watch any other season after.
Oh, really? I
Yep.
watched all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched all of them until they got like really out there with changing like the original cast. I stayed with it when they changed the original cast a few times, but then I was like done. And then they changed like the storyline and
Yeah.
the suits
What
and
did it go
the Zoids.
Power Rangers, then it went Time Force or something like that.
Yeah, that's when I was done.
Yeah, I was out
Yeah,
of
no
there.
no Time Force
Yeah,
for me.
I would watch like I guess you would say the original Power Rangers.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So we're going through yet another reboot of the Power Rangers. They're getting another movie or two, and then also a TV series that will tie in with the movies.
But yeah, Tommy is fighting to be in it somehow.
Yes, still no Tommy. I thought we were getting a second movie with Tommy for those
I'm
of us.
saying the guy who did Jason. What's his name? Jason.
Oh, Jason David Frank.
He's always like, "Let me in. I just want to come in. Can I come in the party?
Yeah.
Let me just."
He just loves his Power Rangers.
Oh,
He's
well.
really passionate. He even has his own show. I
Is
think
he-
it's on YouTube
Is
by
he really
Mighty Morphin
passionate, or is
Ray.
he just like
Like-
no one else is giving him a job except Power Rangers?
Well, he has his own show on YouTube.
I mean, we have our own show on YouTube as well.
Oh, touche. And he also goes to cons, and I think he teaches several forms of karate. I'm really sticking up for you, JDF.
I'm sure he's a
you
nice
better-
guy, but it's just like
He is. I
he's-
met him. He's
He's
nice.
in nothing else, and he's just like, "Please, Power Rangers, I'm hanging on."
I don't know what it is. I don't know what to
He's
say.
he's like 100. He's like, just give me the helmet.
Let me be,
Give me
what's
the
the floating
helmet.
head guy's
I'll
name?
be Zordon, I
So
promise.
that's who he wants to be. Yep. I like him. I don't know about everybody else. I like him.
He's a nice guy, but
He
it's
is
just like,
nice.
it's like, man,
He's
just
positive.
just try to reach out somewhere else. Like
Yeah.
he tried to mix martial arts. I don't think it worked out too well for him.
No, it didn't. He
Yeah.
challenged.
God love
Who did
this
he
guy.
challenge? He challenged somebody really big, and I don't think they accepted his challenge.
Yeah, they're
'cause-
like, dude, I'm not fighting a Power Ranger.
well, he would kick their ass. I mean, he's got like how many belts? He would really kick their ass.
I mean,
I'm serious.
he has like the most belts in like the Pee Wee leagues.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he doesn't have any like major like. He's never went to like the top of Strike Force or Bellator and won a title.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, he has like how many belts?
Yeah.
I have faith in you, JDF.
Well, yeah, he has a bunch of belts. They're colored ones. You get them when you pay enough money to the instructor.
I mean, I was in karate. I earned my belts, dude.
Earned. Parents gave them money. Because I'm a black belt in karate
Yeah.
too, so I can see.
I don't have a
can,
black belt, but
I can see.
I have
both
belts.
You
sides.
pay your monthly subscription, you eventually get to that black belt level.
oh well. I mean, I earned mine.
I probably didn't earn mine.
Aw.
It's like I was the best in youth soccer at one point in time.
Oh well. I
He
mean,
said, like, he was so proud of that. Listen here, kids. I gotta tell you the story.
Remember the time I wore a green helmet, then I switched it over to white?
Yeah.
and David Kim.
Youth soccer. I was the-
I won a championship at under 9s one time. It was a dope experience.
You did or JDF?
I did. Well, they didn't have championships when I played, but I coached and won a championship.
Good job.
9-year-old girls, you know.
Hey,
it's
a
kinda like winning the
championship.
Got my team to victory.
It's kind of like the Champions League in Europe.
Well, good job.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Oh, good job.
Pretty so positive. I love it.
Great job. And I'm just right here like, oh, you think you're so cool. Oh, great job.
Well, you worked for it, so you know.
Let me. I didn't
Give
actually
cred.
read this, so this may come off as super unprepared. So I guess they're saying both Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town franchises have become October Hollywood movie staples, and we didn't plan that. That was just kind of on the spot. People asked each other what we're gonna pick for movies, and it just worked that way.
Yeah.
But I guess
I guess we are the majority of people.
yeah.
Ooh, go
One
us.
fan has noticed the two franchises may actually be connected thanks to a
Yes.
hidden Easter egg in the second Halloween Town movie. Could
Oh,
Disney
saw
actually
that.
have a Halloween Town or a Halloween cinematic universe? The video connection between Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town 2, what did I say is Calabara? The bad guy.
Calabara.
Calabar.
Oh
Calabar.
Revenge.
Calabar's revenge.
In the video you can watch below, the user shows off an Easter egg at the very end of the movie. A woman is magically given a complete witch outfit. And if you take a closer look at the new costume, you notice that it has an extra replica of the outfit worn by Sarah Sanderson in Hocus Pocus, played by Sarah
Oh.
Jessica Parker.
Very cool.
Yeah, so
Super cool.
yeah.
I love that.
Someone said there was supposed to be a fourth sister too.
I did
Really?
hear that before. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a conspiracy
Maybe
theory.
they'll
that there's
maybe
supposed
they'll
to be
come out. Maybe she'll come out in the second one.
the fourth sister.
Mhm.
And we can all take bets who will be playing her.
Yeah.
You know, my prediction: she'll be a person of color,
Oh, that
My
would be
prediction.
good. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be good.
and they should definitely lean into like, how did this happen? They're like, Mom.
You know, Mom.
They're like, we got killed for being witches. She's like, it was the 1600s. Witches definitely didn't help me. You know? Yeah, it would be fun. And who would I have picked to play her? Let's see, because they're all going to be older, right? So they have to pick an older.
Well, I guess they will be. What in their? I don't know how old
This
that
is gonna
number
upset
is.
a lot of Republicans, but
Oh wow.
I'd pick Whoopi. I think it'd be funny if Whoopi Goldberg did it.
Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't know
I'd probably just to go along with all of the other because all the original cast is back, most of it I should say. So it's probably Meryl Streep
Oh,
if
Meryl
there's
Streep
a
would be
fourth one
great.
because it's
Yeah.
always just like she's just
Barbara Streisand.
Babs.
She'd be funny too.
She'll come out. She'll be like, "Hey, sisters.
Hey, well, here.
Hey, we're here."
And Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
'Cause I don't know what he would do, but he could be like a warlock.
He
just
comes
hanging
back.
out.
He comes back as the other sister.
Yeah.
He's just like in like a woman's wig, and he's
Yeah.
just like, "Hey, sisters."
So I'll
They're
give you
BFFs.
I'll give you one spoiler for Hubie. It's not like a huge spoiler, but there's the whole time you're listening to the radio. Like Hubie listens to the radio.
Yeah.
It's a really like seductress, sexy voice, and he's like, he always calls into the radio, and then he goes to the radio station to talk to the person, and it's played by Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he's
So
like,
great.
you didn't like my radio voice. Yeah, it's funny. That's what I got so far. News. What do you got?
Actually, that's the only thing that because I was trying to look and I didn't really find anything else that I connected with.
I know you have one more.
Yeah.
Yep, the only other piece of news I have for today is Disney Plus did confirm that they will be making a sequel to Willow, which is a popular fantasy series in the
Mhm.
80s, late 80s, early 90s, I believe. So
Ki-
that should be good.
nice.
Kingdom Hearts had a Nintendo Switch tease.
Yes, they did, and I will be buying it for my Switch because that's my preferred system, and I'll
Yeah.
be so happy.
And Jeff Bridges announces he has a
Oh,
cancer
Mm.
so
diagnosis.
sad.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
him.
We do, just to kind of plug our show tomorrow, if you're into pro wrestling, our Tornado Tag podcast, we're doing like a reboot of the show. I personally, I'm getting bored doing weekly reviews of shows, and then you go and like, because I try to support everybody and I try to listen to everyone's podcasts and stuff and show love. But
Mhm.
like when I go and listen to like 4 other wrestling podcasts, and we're all literally just repeating each other's statements and saying the same shit and have the same views because not
That's
many
a lot.
people have the different view outside of the wrestling community. So like
Mhm.
you go on Facebook and then the wrestling community's like, we hated this segment, and they're like, well, we hated it too, and it's just like, ugh, I'm over it. You know what I mean?
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, and if like I don't know, so it's just like I don't want to do weekly. I don't want to take up an hour of someone's time listening to another wrestling review show. So
Mhm.
we are switching it up. We will cover, like, I guess, kind of what we're into when it comes to storylines and stuff.
That's good.
But I think what we're gonna do is kind of like, because Hell in a Cell happens this Sunday,
Mhm.
we will talk about the storylines that have been built up to get to Hell in a Cell. And that's kind of, instead of doing weekly reviews, when the pay-per-view comes, we'll be like, well, here's what's been going on the entire time to the storyline build up to this pay-per-view, and
I
then
like that.
and do it that way, and then just talk about any major news outside of wrestling that may be popular, and then kind of what we do on this show, we're gonna have a major topic at the end. So we're
Oh,
gonna,
I like
so
that.
we're gonna do, and then we'll focus more on the topic and not so much everything that you've. We're not gonna insult you by telling you what you've already watched all week in wrestling
Yeah.
and thinking that our opinion matters and we should sway you how you should think as a wrestling fan. So we're gonna do a episode tomorrow on Robindale High School. It's a high school in Missouri, or no, Minnesota, and during this like a time period of that school, they have brought out like 9 pretty big popular wrestlers,
Oh, I
Oh,
saw that
wow.
post that
and
you
they
guys
all went to
made.
the same high school.
That's
So
crazy.
It's a
Crazy.
pretty insane story, and they're all like different graduating years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's
I
pretty
wonder
cool.
what-
So that's what we're gonna cover tomorrow on Tornado Tag Podcast. So
I wonder what it is about Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Minnesota, man.
Minnesota.
And a very popular ring announcer came out of that school.
Oh, geez.
Or interviewer, I'll say, not ring announcer, interviewer, and a very popular wrestler / company owner came out of this high school as well.
WWE really
goodness.
likes Minnesota.
Yeah,
They do.
yeah. So
they
that's
do.
what we're gonna cover.
Super exciting.
Sorry, that cracked me up. I don't remember. I don't know what we said.
Was it about
there.
the Shaq thing?
Maybe. Oh yeah, maybe the Shaq thing cracked her up. Thank you. I was like, sometimes like,
Because I read it from here. I'm pulling an Andy, and I
Yeah.
could like see it from here. So I'm
there's a
just like,
delay, so
blind.
sometimes
I'm
I have a
blind.
hard time remembering what
Mhm.
what we said according to the delay on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. She said yeah.
Thank you.
I'm eagle-eyed today.
And thank you guys so much for sharing and helping us out.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
word
it's great.
word
Thank
of
you so
mouth is
much.
definitely helping.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's
invite some people
incredible.
who are into pop culture onto the group page too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And help us grow. The audio numbers have definitely jumped up as well.
Oh, great.
So people are listening in their cars or listening at home and not just going off Facebook and YouTube. So that's cool. So it's we're actually getting to a point now. We're getting a balance of an audience in 3 different locations. So we're getting views back on YouTube. Facebook's doing the best, obviously, because it's easier for people to see it and be accessible to it, because Facebook just makes it convenient.
Mhm.
And then the audio plays are getting popular, and then obviously people are buying merch, which is good. So everything, I don't know, it's really, it blows my mind that like we're actually a couple plays away from hitting 13,000 total plays in less than 2 years.
That's amazing.
That's incredible.
Like 13,000.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a big number. I
That
love
is.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
for a
which is
school
pretty.
county. That's really great.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
thank
that's
you
just
so much, everyone.
that's just audio only. That's not counting plays on YouTube and counting what's being watched on Facebook as well. So it's just it definitely it hits that saying that people like what we're creating, and
Yeah.
I'm very, very appreciative of it. Like, it still blows my mind that people are wearing T-shirts of our stuff out there.
I
Like,
love that.
I do too.
and what did Andy? Someone said to Andy
No,
that.
yeah, my friend Michael reached out and he was just like, "Hey, I want to let you know I was at Green Dragon or somewhere the today, this is when he had messaged me a couple days ago, and he was just like, and I saw like 3 people wearing like podcast shirts, and I was just like, what? And he was just like, I was like, do you remember which ones? And he was like, yeah, there was a Not Cool in High School one, there was a TBI one, and there was just like an interviews with everyday people, and I was just like, that's awesome.
It's nuts. So if you were at the
That's
Green Dragon flea
incredible.
market, and that was you, thank you. That's
Yeah.
unbelievable. I can't even wrap my head around that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think total wise, I think I looked at them. I don't like to look at numbers a lot. So
Mhm.
when I do, it's just like I get really grateful. I know some people look at them and they like get discouraged. Like this episode only got 60 plays and didn't get, So I don't really get into all that. But I think total merch thing. I think we're up to like almost 250 or 300 pieces of merchandise that has been sold.
That's pretty
That's
good.
out there in
Thank you,
in the
everyone who
ecosystem, like-
bought stuff. That's incredible.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
So I'm very, very grateful.
Mhm.
Yes,
And
thank you, everyone.
yeah, you guys are awesome. So what have you been playing or doing anything new?
Oh, before we answer that, I did remember something else that I did want to bring up.
Oh my
ki-
god. Heidi just had a heart attack upstairs. A spider literally just crawled across the bed and under her boob, she said.
Oh
She
no! Kill
said
it! Kill it!
She
Kill
said
it!
I may have to burn the house down.
We'll leave, so you can do that. We'll get lady. We'll leave.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, burn it down.
Yep. We
You're,
don't need
you're listening
spiders.
while you're driving home from Aunt Colleen's house. I appreciate the listen and hanging out with us. Yeah, hope she's feeling better.
And one of the I forgot to say during like the whatever that last episode, Nikolai turned me on to this thing on eBay, which if Alexis is still in the
Oh
chat,
yeah.
I talked to her about this, where it's an authentic Harry Potter prop card
Yeah.
or like costume card, and I got my in the Hollywood in the Hogwarts realm that you can actually like get these things on eBay where it's like a little piece, kind of like your football jersey cards.
Yeah, where it'll have a piece of jersey or a piece of football, and they'll embed it onto the card.
Mhm.
Oh, neat.
And then sometimes there's an autograph with it, but it's like a card, and it'll have a picture of the player and then a piece of his jersey on the card.
Oh, cool.
And it's like that for like the Harry Potter universe. Like I know he got one of Lupin's coat,
Oh,
and he
neat.
also got another one, and I got one of the cloaks and one of the pieces of clothing that are hanging in the divination room because I love
Oh.
tarot cards and divination. That's my
Yeah.
favorite. So it's like that was like so I got that in the mail, and I was just kind of like, hell yeah.
Now, did you buy just like that one card?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have. You can go on eBay. Some of them are real rare, and they go up to like $200.
Oof.
The one that I got was like only like $40.
It's not bad.
What I would like to do is like everyone chip in, and we'll find out how much one. But you can get like a case of them, right? So you buy a case of cards,
Oh my
and
god,
then
and we can pull
and,
it out.
and we open them, and then obviously, most times when people buy the cards, there's 1 or 2 cards, and that'll be as valuable as the collection of cards.
Oh, nice.
So what we can do is, I know like my buddy Tanner. So if you're into playing cards, my buddy Tanner, he just created a page on Facebook called Blue Chip Breaks. So what they do is everyone you chip in like a $10, right? And you pick your favorite team, or you pick a spot in the card. So say if there's 9 cards in the pack, you pick number 2 spot, someone picks number 3, and then whatever number 2 card comes out, that's your card.
Oh,
And
okay.
then that's kind of how they do it on Facebook, and they do it with sports cards and all this other cool stuff. But like getting a case of cards and opening them and seeing what everyone gets. Is like
That would be, oh my god, that would be so exciting. I'd be on the edge of my seat, be like, what's that one? What's that one?
Oh my god, I remember being a kid and opening Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah?
hell yeah.
Yeah.
There was no,
Opening that
I've
little
never
thing.
done heroin,
So
but
amazing.
I feel like I came very close.
That's the high that you feel.
I feel like I was pretty close. Like when you're slide, and then
Yes.
I think I had it memorized. Like the third to last card was always your rare or
Yep.
your holographic,
Mhm.
and you're like,
Which
oh
one?
my god,
Which
please
one?
be a Charizard.
Please be the holographic
I had
Charizard.
a Dragonite.
Charizard never happened
Ooh.
for me.
No, I never got Charizard either.
I just stole somebody else's.
Did you?
Yeah.
they
was
You
never.
do what
They
you gotta
never.
do out in
seek
the streets.
retribution.
No,
Oh, you got lucky.
I was crafty. I was poor, and I was a dirtball back in the day. I'm not.
You
making
gotta do
excuses.
what you gotta do when you're a kid.
Yeah,
That's right, for those Pokemon cards.
Yep.
remember when a kid cut his finger off for one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I loved Pogs too. I was a big Pogs
Oh,
fan.
yep, same.
Pogs, I
same,
think Pogs.
Pogs.
I think Pogs stopped like right as I was getting into like that age because I'm
I
only
remember
26.
my parents were like, "What like, why are you buying this? This is stupid. And I'm like, they're bugs. Oh,
Oh
my
yeah,
God.
they're crazy.
Don't talk
amount of
shit about my
pogs.
pogs.
The thing that's popular, I don't know if they're still popular. I don't have children, but for a while there, the shop things,
Shopkins.
Shopkins.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Shopkins. That came and
We
went.
worked at FYE and we had the book of Shopkins,
Oh
and I was
God.
like, for shits and giggles, I want to know what like the rare Shopkin is.
What is it?
And it was I could be wrong, but it was a piece of broccoli.
What?
But it was a gold broccoli
That is horrible.
that
Everybody
sells
should burn it down.
for $20,000.
Shut the hell
$20,000 for gold broccoli?
We looked
Who
it up.
wants
We looked it
that?
up when Nikolai gets here. I think it was me, Nikolai, and Kayla working.
Oh, God.
And I was like, yo, a piece of plastic gold broccoli makes almost as much as I do a year
That's
in
stupid.
That's
salary.
ridiculous.
It should be something cute, like a little purse, a little shoe,
Mhm.
a little dress, not a golden piece of broccoli.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
I hate vegetables so much. I rather eat meat, fish, candy,
That could be
candy
a whole,
corn
we
for
should-
everybody who
We
hates
should do a
it.
whole episode
Oh, I
on,
love candy
I
corn.
do too.
weird collectibles, like the most valuable collectibles. Like what's the
Yes,
most
that'd
valuable
be so
Beanie
much
Baby
fun.
or something like that?
I have some. Don't make me
Ooh.
break out my Beanie Babies because I will.
Well, you wanna do-
Bags.
You
I
want to do
have
it?
bags.
So don't bring all of them.
I will.
Bring all of them. We'll just lay in like a sea of Beanie Babies. and
Have you ever
wave.
seen
And
the-
I'll just like lay in it
We're all laying in there like
and just like do angels.
the whole
Nobody
thing,
can
like,
see me, but
we're just popping out like very slowly, just like, "Hey guys, thanks, welcome to the podcast."
So it'll be like a pile of Beanie Babies, or like a pile of leaves in your yard, and I'll just be like in it.
Did you ever see the video, the photo of the husband and wife going through divorce, and they literally are sitting on the floor of the courtroom with the Beanie Baby dumped out,
Yes.
I did.
sorting out.
I did.
Yes.
Like that's what our court system at one point in time had to do
Had
that.
to do
They
that.
must
Are
have
you
hated their
kidding
lives.
me?
Like the judge is like, can we just put him
They're
in
like,
jail?
I sentenced a
Princess is
murderer.
mine.
They're like,
In that voice.
I sentenced a murderer last
You know I
week.
paid for the unicorn. I fucking paid for the unicorn.
I have that one too. Her
Well,
name is Mystic.
I'm taking the giraffe. You bitch, you ain't taking that giraffe.
Oh my god.
I will take Erin. You may not touch Erin. You may not look at Erin. She is mine. I also have Erin. Do not think anything about this. They are mine. Do not come after them.
Thank you for the like, Pablo. Pablo is a cool. Pablo, I used to work with him, and I had this old Batman wallet, and it
Uh-huh.
was a Batman Joker wallet,
Oh, okay.
and it was to the point where it was falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was going to throw it away, and Pablo like, you're gonna throw away your wallet? I was like, yeah. He's like, I love that wallet, and I was like, if you really want it, dude, it's hanging on by a thread. I'm getting a new one.
Duct tape it up.
He literally took it. He saved it from going in the trash. And he was just on Facebook Live talking the other day, and I was like, "What's up, man?" And he literally was like, "Blackwell," and he pulls out. He's still using it.
That's great.
It's like fucking 8 years ago.
That's
He still uses the
incredible.
wall. I love that kid. He's such a cool person. I love Pablo. Kiss the wife and baby for me. Yeah. So, yeah, what were we talking about? Well, I already
Beanie
said what I
Babies.
watched. I watched Hubie. Did you watch anything, you guys?
I'm still watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I watched an episode or two of Rescue Me with Mark before coming here.
Oh, you guys you working through Rescue Me?
Mark just started it today, and I
It's a
watched.
good show.
Yeah, it's pretty
It
good
gets a little
so far.
weird. Gets a little weird towards the end.
Yeah, I heard
Well, towards
that.
the middle, it gets a little supernatural, little sci-fi-ish.
That's fine with me.
It's just not expected when you're watching manly firefighters.
Yeah, that is kind of a strange turn. I don't know why that would be, but that's fine. I love sci-fi, and I want to
Yeah.
start. So I'm still watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I cannot get enough of that show. That show is just absolutely amazing. And watch my Cowboys do horrible yesterday. Horrible, so horrible.
Hey y'all, every single fad that you ever had or talking about, I was into literally the moment they became uncool. I was a very lonely child. Thank God nostalgia is cool now.
Aw,
Aw.
That's why our other show's name is Not,
Not
cool, in High School.
that's
Cool.
right.
Because
That's right.
if like nostalgia was popular, but I know at my school it was very sports orientated. So if you're like, oh my God, like Pokemon or like beat 'em up,
Mhm. Yeah.
fucking idiot man. Well, they didn't say idiot. They said the fancy F word doesn't mean fuck. That's what I was called. Yeah. So
The
it
thing
was-
that every like teenage boy likes to call another teenage boy.
yeah, every white
Mhm.
kid. Like,
Mhm.
that's how we.
Yep.
I always tell people like if you want to make another white person uncomfortable, just call them homophobic slurs. It works every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like, bro, I'll prove it right now. Give me a girl and kiss her.
Yeah. Right. They get real sensitive real quick.
Yeah,
They
it's like-
do.
You can make fun of my mom, bro, but don't call me that. God, I miss middle school.
I do not, so glad to be
It was
here.
my worst time. Middle school was, I think, everybody's worst
Stressful.
time.
Yeah.
And what else did I watch? Oh, I'm gonna start the new season of Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah, the new season.
Oh yeah, it just came out.
I saw that, so I want to get into that again.
We binge watched every episode.
Oh my god.
Is
We
it good?
We didn't even no, not Unsolved Mysteries. So we binge watched Burt Kreischer's new show
Oh.
on Netflix.
The Cabin or
The
whatever. it's
Cabin
called.
with Burt Kreischer, where every episode, like, so
didn't hear of
the
it.
premise is they were supposed to go and he was supposed to go up to a cabin and relax and clear his mind because he works
Mhm.
too much. But then it turned into a TV show. But it was like, oh my god, I kind of did this on the spur, and like
It was
all right,
obviously scripted, but it was very entertaining.
it was very entertaining. So here's what kind of like not annoys me, but it just like I appreciate our fans and the people who listen to our stuff because I think they get it. Like people like when people look genuine on camera, right? But there's a lot
Yes.
of times where you watch reality TV or you watch stuff and it's not genuine, it's scripted.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
or where you have a conversation and you chop the best 3 minutes out of it and then make a show out of it instead of listening to like I personally rather listen to sit there and talk for 2 hours. That's
Yeah.
just me. That's why I like podcasts. So it was a good show, but it was like it was very. Sometimes you're like, oh boy, this is super forced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was entertaining.
Especially with his wife. Like you can tell that his wife isn't an actress or she's not anything. So it's like in her delivery, it was just kind of like she got a little bit of coaching to do. But like,
Yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
like, and she would just be
Aw.
like, "Oh my God, Bert, what are you doing?" And it was like, "Oh Lord,
You crazy Bert, you.
yeah, it was. It was very entertaining though. There were some nice like life lessons that came out. I mean, but you could tell that it wasn't as spur of the moment as
Yeah.
it says it was, which I
That's
mean
annoying.
and I mean I love the show. I love the movie Paranormal Activity, where it
Oh,
was
yeah.
just like
Hey,
set
bud.
up where it
Hey.
was set up, where it was like they did it. It wasn't reality because it was scripted, but it was reality because it was a shaky cam and whatnot. So I mean, I get it. But
Bert
it
was
was-
naked 99.9%
Oh my
of the time.
God,
Yes, he was.
Speedo every other time.
He was waxing his butthole in one episode, and Caitlyn
Mhm.
Jenner walked in.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it was great. Hi, Nikolai.
What are we talking
I'm
about?
talking about what I did on Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Caitlyn Jenner was over.
Wait
the
a
house.
minute. I was with you on Saturday.
You were helping. You just didn't know. Well, that's a good segue.
No.
What did we do Saturday, Nikolai?
We went to
Oh.
go see a movie.
We went to go see Sam Hain.
Samhain.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sam Hain, Samhain. Shamalama Ding Dong. I could say that because they got my show's name wrong in the show. So
No, you got it wrong all this time.
yeah.
It's interviews with
For-
for everyday
for
people.
everyday people.
For everyday people. For
He-
all of you.
Guys,
Making t-shirts.
wearing a T-shirt with interviews with everyday people, a microphone with a sticker, interviews with everyday people. There's a graphic on the bottom of the screen, interviews with everyday people. He's like, "This is Nick signing off for interviews for everyday people," and I was like,
What?
"Could do a second take on that."
No, he had to go home.
Yeah.
So no one else has to say anything, but am I allowed to be honest?
Yeah.
That sucked.
What did?
What, the movie?
Samhain? Sam Hain?
Yeah.
I will say
Sucked.
this. It had good bones for a first film.
I agree.
Oh, is this that local movie?
Yes.
Oh, yes. It looked good, but it wasn't good. Oh, it looked
it was
so good.
was-
Garbage.
So it
Are you
was one
kidding
of
me? It's garbage.
It
Well-
I'll be the asshole
Yeah.
that says
No,
it.
I'm cool with it.
No.
'cause
The
I'm-
advertisement looked good. I
Oh.
know some local people who were in it too. What a shame.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. At the end of the day, they wanted to make a movie. They went for it and they did it. So kudos to that.
Yeah.
I think Brett that night made a great point
He did.
that they went into it with a lot of heart and no budget, and I
And no
definitely-
experience.
Right, and I think that is something because they're not Hollywood filmmakers or
No,
anything, so
they're
they
not.
have to be judged on a completely
They're not
other
even
standard.
they're not even script writers. They're not
Right.
script writers, they're not actors, they're not filmographer, they're not photography. They're like they literally had zero experience going into
Right.
this. So like for me example, the first probably 4 months I did this podcast, if you go back and watch it, it was absolute dog shit. I don't think my interview skills were very good. My conversation skills were probably maybe. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying I'm great now, but I'm just saying they went into it with zero experience, zero budget, but a lot of heart,
right,
and they put something out. So I give
Right.
and
and
it's one of those things that Brett said. I'm sorry, Brett said it's so bad it's good.
right.
It's like cause listen, I was very entertained, but not because probably the same reasons. Like so one of the things I was joking about with Brett and the cast that was there, I was like, yo, like literally they see a dead body and they're like, oh, anyway, and then they tell a story about how like somebody was sexually abused and they're like, oh my god, are you serious? They're like, you just seen a dead body.
And they
and
just
a-
ignored the dead
and
body.
a diddling story got you that bad? Like, like come on, man.
Ugh.
Like the girl, she's pregnant. She looks 12, and her boyfriend looks 48. In the movie,
This is a sugar daddy show. I'm
and
telling you.
and she's pregnant, and they tell her baby daddy has just been murdered, and they found his body, and she's like, okay. Next scene.
Yeah.
Like
No emotional expression.
but
But
like
once again,
Oh.
they're not actors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're figuring it out.
But like that's what gets me. Maybe because
Rehearse it,
I
though.
am very, very, very openly like a film snob. So I get it. So it's like I'm very much just like they didn't have experience, we showed. They didn't have any experience.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like they weren't actors, showed. It was just like so I just
I will
Wouldn't they
say
rehearse
I-
it though and like practice emotional expression? I don't
it
know.
didn't
I'm.
seem like
no.
they did that.
I mean, I'm just a therapist.
I mean,
but,
no,
Yeah.
you
no
know, like-
tea, no shade.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing to your face, but it's just I did not enjoy it at all.
Yeah.
So
I would think, wouldn't the director have you practice? Like,
Well,
okay.
the director was
All of
also a
them
guy
are
who has
fresh.
zero experience.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, I think, is kind of like when you create something, you're looking from your point of view, like, oh my god, this is gonna be so much, like this is gonna translate very well. This is gonna be very funny. This is gonna be entertaining. And then you do it, and you're like, yeah, that was fun, right? Like I'm sure, like there's times where we wrap this podcast, and we're like, nailed it, and then someone watches like
That
3
was
minutes
fun.
in,
Sucks.
3 minutes in, they're like, click. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I will
no
say,
chemistry.
for
Yeah.
their very first film project, it was very an ambitious move
Absolutely.
to do a full length film.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even at that level, and I've been making films since I was in high school.
I think you are, but
I mean, I haven't gone to that step of like organizing one
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
and that takes
I've
a lot
been
of
doing
work.
it for a long time.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, and so
So-
I give him credit in that aspect.
Right.
That is a
Um,
lot of work. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I am going to complain about the rain. If you are going to use digital rain, wet your actors. Just a note. Like, I'm cool, if you don't want to get a hose and a colander and spray your people and
Spray
all
'em
that
down.
stuff,
At least dampen them up.
but at least make them wet.
Make him get a shower beforehand, so like their
right.
hair is wet.
Something.
it was
Oh,
like-
so it was raining and they weren't wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God.
The audio was rough. Like the audio was rough on it. Like some parts would be like really low, and then some parts were really high. But it's all like
Right,
fresh.
it's all-
Yeah, it's all fresh. Like listen, if they're gonna make more going forward, this is a great starting point.
Yeah, great
I mean?
place to learn.
And a lot of people in the local community went out and supported them and watched the movie, if whether they liked it or not. But they gave it a shot. So I listen. I thought it was just the way Brett described it. I think it was
Mm.
so bad it was good.
I will make a note, though, for if any of them are watching. If you have your villain not your villain, you're revealing this big backstory for your villain. In this case, his dad diddled him, and then he diddled his daughter and all that stuff. Please show the actor's face that's explaining it. I don't want to see the three people on screen that aren't talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see the explanation.
Interesting.
on
There was
the face.
interesting camera choice
Yeah.
angles. Yeah.
And interesting camera angles can work, though. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But if there's someone
it's
given a very
appropriate.
important piece,
Yep.
I want to see their face.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it was it was very coming and going, like people coming in all the time. Like it was like a revolving
Oh.
door of people, and then like 3/4 of the movie, like we have more information to tell you about this. Like it was like instead of showing you on screen the story, it was more like they had they had really big long breaks of dialogue to explain, kind of over explain what was happening. But like I said, once again, lack of experience, and
Yeah.
and they'll grow. They'll definitely. But listen,
Right.
you just did it. Kudos to you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
kudos
a
to you
lot
guys.
of a lot of people talk about wanting to make a movie and doing a project or starting a podcast or doing anything creatively, and people talk and don't do it.
Absolutely.
You guys did it.
I
And
talk
then-
about making movies all the time, and I do nothing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
I make minute shorts.
yeah.
and
So
call it a day.
kudos to you guys, man. I think where you're at is fantastic. Keep going. Obviously, you're gonna have people who didn't like it, and that's part of the process too. When you
Yeah.
create something, you're gonna have people like it and not like it, and that's
Yep.
part of the process. But take the stuff, like be open to criticism, take it and move forward, and keep grinding away.
And at the end of the day, you did the damn thing. So
Absolutely,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Absolutely.
We still. I'm just making sure that we're still here. No one left on us. Yeah. Have you been watching, or do you have any news topics that you came across quick? Or we're kind of throwing you back in.
No
No?
new stuff at the moment.
Playing anything different besides
I mean,
Fortnite
Fortnite.
and Call
there's-
of Duty beta?
So I saw a screen capture of we're talking about Call of Duty and stuff. The jigsaw thing that we
Leatherface.
share. Well, no, there's a jigsaw
Oh, really?
one, but it's a character that you can buy in the store from
Ah.
the looks of it. It's not necessarily like a specific game mode. So I'm a little bummed about that, but I am happy that they're going to bring horror characters to the game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did we talk last week about how does it Bly Manor?
Yeah, she
I just
kind of
talked
covered that a
about that
little
because I
bit. Yeah.
finished it. I finished it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was really good. I love that.
I liked it, but it was definitely marketed wrong.
You think so?
I do. I would not have tied it to Hill House.
Is it a continuation of
they're-
Hill House,
I don't
or
know.
is
I
it by
didn't
the
see
same
I know
people?
it's like the same cast.
They're kind of
and
doing it
stuff.
like
It's like
a
an American Horror Story.
American
type,
Horror
Okay.
Story.
where
Right.
it's set up like the stories are completely different, but like maybe one day like they'll all tie in, like depending on
Yeah.
how many seasons go by.
There's definitely a theme to it. There's a haunted building.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but,
But-
it is by the same people or no?
Same
Mhm.
director, same team.
It is like the
same
American
production.
Horror Story
And-
setup.
Okay.
I thought they all did great for their things, but
Just if you're gonna do it, Katie Seagal needs to be in every single one because she's just.
hers was the best episode.
Oh my god, she's just so.
I loved that episode.
Oh, she was in it at one point.
Was
I
she
didn't get
in-
that far. So she does come in the show.
Oh, my bad.
Oh.
I'm not talking about it.
Katie Seagal. Was she in season 1?
Yeah,
Okay.
she was the sister with the rogue powers.
Oh, okay.
She's
Um,
just she's so gorgeous.
Oh my
I
The,
always
the camera would
forget
get like
who she is.
the camera
It's
would pan
terrible.
away from her and then pan back, and I'm like, how did she get even more beautiful than the last time she was on?
Stunning.
I'm trying to think.
She was the girl in the movie Hush too, where she was a deaf girl, and then they were all trying to break into her house and kill her.
In Hill House, she was the one with the gloves.
She always had
the
gloves on.
gloves.
Mhm.
Okay, so she was the funeral house one. No.
Nope,
No,
that was
she was the one
the-
who lived in the funeral house.
Like in the guest house.
Yes,
Yeah.
she was the one that
Okay.
was bisexual.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, it's coming back to me now.
Yeah.
It's been a little while.
She's
I
probably
apologize.
the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, she's
She's gorgeous.
unbelievable.
Mhm.
You met her.
I
She's
did.
younger.
I did get to meet
Oh
her
my.
and her co-star in that episode as well, which I was really happy to see that Katie or
The one
Caitlin is
that she was
now
dating.
in. No.
The co-star. Which co-star?
This is in that particular episode that she's in.
Trying
The
to
girl who
remember.
plays her sister.
The funeral house one.
No.
Oh my god.
No, I mean in-
Oh yeah,
I mean
she
in
is
this
pretty.
season.
Oh, in this season.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But
She's
her
just-
name
I didn't see
in
any
places
of the season yet.
changes depending on like how you look it up. So
Oh.
it's Catherine or Kate.
Kate.
Oh, Kate can be short for Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like the way that she has it broken out
Like
in
different
things, it's like
nicknamings
different
and stuff?
spellings and stuff
Yeah.
completely. So it's
'Cause
like
if
they
you-
don't even
Interesting.
connect.
She's one misspelled Google word away from being Katie Seagal, which is
No,
Peg
not
Bundy.
her.
Yeah.
No.
Or the
the
yeah.
other girl that I met.
Okay.
But they were all really awesome.
Yeah.
The ones from Hill House that I met.
I was just gonna ask, are they
Um,
nice?
They are super nice.
No, that makes me
um,
so happy.
I would highly recommend if you get a chance to meet them, any of them, to do so. But I had to go into the season a little, like,
So one of the things I said, maybe you can, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I think just from listening to people's feedback and critique, I think they went into it expecting the first.
oh no,
Right.
This has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying this is what I think the majority. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying majority. Like I think a lot of people went in expecting like the jump scares and the ghosts to
Right.
kind of jump out and scare you, and this was a different style of horror.
Right.
And I
Mhm.
think a lot of people were expecting from the first season to translate to the second season, and then when they didn't get it, it was kind of like, well, what the hell?
Right.
Because I think a lot of people have more of a hard time with psychological thrillers than they do jumps. Because I think we've been conditioned since the '90s, or not the '90s, since the 2000s, like early 2000s,
Yeah.
that every horror movie that's a PG-13 horror movie is a jump scare.
a jump
It's
scare.
all jump scare
Right.
style movies. Like we just watched.
Because we're all desensitized to everything else.
We did watch a movie. We watch. This is the funny thing is most of the movies I watch now are with her because she comes over and hangs out. Her and I. So we like La Llorona, a jump scare movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to see that. Is
Yeah.
it good or
It was all right. It was a James Wan horror movie.
James?
Mm,
What else did
Cookie
he do?
Cutter.
Conjuring.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the Conjuring.
Insidious. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
he started with Saw.
Yeah.
Oh, he is the Insidious director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Insidious.
They try and then they try to tie it into, what was it, Annabelle? What did they try to tie it into?
Yeah.
But La Llorona is a completely different story. It's an actual story. It's an
well,
actual.
Yeah,
I
the
guess they're
weeping
trying to say
woman.
that they are connected because they're real.
Mm.
But that doesn't make them connected.
I
There's
know,
A lot
they-
of
they
real
tried,
Stories.
they
Yeah.
tried.
Okay. Anyway.
There's like a little bit of a peekaboo.
Yeah.
There's like,
You
Okay.
bastards. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate
one of
when they
those
do
two.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It's just-
fun.
It's its own story.
it's fun when it's like Pixar and you see like, like the Toy Story ball and like another movie,
Yeah.
it's just like, and then you see it there and it's just like,
Yeah.
I forget even how they tied it,
Wow.
but they definitely tried to.
It was like the one girl had like the creepy doll.
No, they actually like had. They
Oh, there was
showed
another
Annabelle.
thing.
Like they showed.
Oh, you're right. Yep. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now.
I had a
At
friend
one
who
point.
saw the real Annabelle, which is a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have
that's
licked that
creepy.
doll.
Don't do that.
I don't
'cause
believe
bad,
it.
I wanna
Bad
go
things
find
happen. I know
Ladder
people
out.
who lost their pets and stuff. If you touch that doll, bad shit happens. Like
I don't believe it. The guy from BuzzFeed went in there and literally did everything he possibly could to offend that doll.
Demon.
Did anything bad happen to him?
Nothing.
Because I know
Shout out
people
to
who
Shane Medej, my
Nothing.
people
favorite
who touched it
my
and
second
bad
favorite
shit
skeptic.
happened. They lost their cat. Some other shit happened.
But what can that? So this is like a truth behind illusion segue again. So how much of that do you think is like in your head that you're waiting for something bad to happen, and when it does, you just blame it on because you touched a doll?
I don't know.
You
I
think-
don't know.
I feel like there's
would
gotta
like
be a
to.
time limit.
I would like to see it. But
Is
I'm,
there?
I'm not touching
No,
it.
I mean like if it happens like a second after,
Yeah.
maybe.
You're like,
Yeah.
Like,
you're like, F you, doll.
The
and
energy
like,
of the intention in your brain needs to like
Yeah.
needs
I'm very
some time to
superstitious.
process.
If
like,
it's a week from
process.
now, yeah, maybe not.
it's like, fuck that doll. Bling. My mom's dead. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, like it needs to be something like that.
Yeah.
oh, I don't know. That's what they
I'm
say.
also very
like,
superstitious
I'm
as well.
super
I wouldn't touch
superstitious.
it.
looked
I
at the
wouldn't touch
doll.
it.
I
I'll
lo-
look at
I would
it.
take salt. See, this is my
I'll
this
take
is
pictures. I
this
ain't touching it.
this is my crazy lady thing. Like other than like blowing the energy off my tarot cards, as Tony likes to make fun of me for. If I've touched something with bad energy, this is what I do when I go home after like hanging out with you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you
But I'll
probably
go
do.
home and I take salt and I like rub salt on my hands because
Since-
salt removes
yeah,
negative energy.
So she's
I will
been
be
taking
doing
a-
that
she-
from now on. Thank you.
She takes lots of Epsom salt baths because she leaves here and she's like, that guy is fucking evil. Yeah, I don't know. It's like you can't see something and then like 3 months later, like you stub your toe and you're like, that damn demon.
I don't know the time
Ow,
frames. I
demon!
can't remember. My friend.
Goat man.
You're sitting in
passed
your bed. You're like, oh my toe.
passed away.
Oh my god, I
I
touched
don't
that
know
doll.
what's happening.
I touched that doll 6 months ago. Like,
Remember last year?
Well, we'll just all go to Connecticut, where it's at, and we'll find out.
The girls will go like shopping or something fun, or maybe go to a witch store,
I'll be
and you
dancing.
guys go like ballroom dance with Annabelle, and then we'll get separate rooms and separate
Yeah.
separate hallways.
2 different ends of the hotel. So I'm not having any of that bad energy.
Yeah,
Like, I will see it, but that's as far as it goes.
I'll bring my sage, so just in case like any of it creeps over through intention, we'll clear it out.
and,
Yeah, I don't
But I
and
know.
think
sage
between you-
ourselves. so
Between
you gotta sage
between you and me,
yourself.
I think we got it covered.
Sage yourself and the room.
Yep.
And the car.
Yep.
And the bags.
Mhm.
yeah, I guess
And my drink.
I
And
do
my
that
phone.
I do that with my water at home. Like I'm always just like, I sage my water for good intention. Just to
Sage
cleanse it.
everything.
holy fuck.
The whole
I need to
shebang.
buy stock in sage. Sage and salt over here. I'll be a millionaire. We did crack open these Bang if you'd like to try the last
This
of
one's
it.
actually pretty good.
Is it?
Tori's been smashing it, so get some
Okay.
now.
It's actually pretty good because I didn't like the other ones
Well,
from last.
While I try this, I'm gonna backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
okay.
Sorry, we.
I know.
derailed.
And
We-
I'm gonna open this
We
one.
kind of ran off, but I had to go into that season 2 cautiously.
Yeah.
Because in the first episode, they said, "Who are the kids? Flora and
Flora and what the heck's his name?
Jimmy.
Miles.
Miles." Okay, I wanted to say Miles, but I was like, "Oh, maybe it's not."
It's
But I watched a movie mistakenly that came out in January. And for those of you who don't know, if you go see a movie in January, the movies that come out then go to die.
yeah.
Yes.
So don't go see January releases. But I made the mistake of going to see The Turning, which is like the exact same story. So walking into this season, I was like, is this going to end like this? Because I'm going to be so angry.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't see the turning.
Good.
I didn't,
Keep
I
it that way.
I didn't either. Are they the
Because,
same?
and I will suggest, if you do watch The Turning, at one point in the movie, you're going to be like, oh, the movie's over. Turn it off. Just turn it off. Make that executive
And be
choice.
happily ignorant.
Right. Because they do some kind of like time travel shit where they go back and like replay half the
Oh,
movie
God.
where like she knows what all happened, but no one else does. So it's like,
So
and then they end it.
so I normally don't like lemon flavored.
I like this.
This
one.
is really good because it's not
This one.
overpowering. It doesn't taste like
Yeah.
it doesn't say you're drinking like a pine sol.
It's like the perfect amount of lemon.
All right, so we are getting close to. We're at 10:43. We're at like an hour into the episode. So let's get
Let's
into
get
the main
into it.
event here. Let's jump into Rocky Horror.
Yay.
Your favorite.
All right. So obviously the movie came out, and then there's some history and some facts about it, and
It has great bones.
it didn't.
That's all he has to say. Nothing else.
And
It's great bone.
He's done.
it did not do very well. It was a 1975 film.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. here.
Bombed.
It did bomb. It did not do very well.
That surprises me, but
1975, rated R. And do you know why it was rated R?
You told me already, so I don't want to give it away.
So there is one F word in the whole movie. during what song is it? I don't know the name of the song. I'm terrible at this. I don't know
Is
songs.
it Damn It, Janet?
No, it's the one where
Frank says it, right?
Frank says it when he hits the switch and has all their feet stuck to the floor.
It was at like his.
He says
his
mind fuck during the
Oh,
song.
mind
yeah.
fuck, would you-
Yeah.
You better wise up,
Yeah.
Janet Weiss.
And then the thing that got them the rated R was the scene where Rocky goes into Brad's room and he simulates oral sex on him. That's what gave him
It was
the
Frankenfurter.
as rank. Yeah.
Oh, that surprises me.
Yeah. So that's what gave him the R rating. So a newly engaged couple have a breakdown in an isolated area and must seek shelter at a bizarre residence of Dr. Frankenfur. Yeah. So the movie initially came out, did not do well, and then became a cult classic. Then it started getting, screenplays and theaters were taking it over, and then it became a thing where they did like you would go see the movie in theaters, and it would turn into where they would everyone had like a script, and you yell stuff at the screen, and you heckle it and participate.
Horrible.
I love it.
It makes the movie so much better.
In the beginning, I was just like, I feel like there's two kinds of theater kids. There's ones like me that love Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then there's ones like Nikolai who hate Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Well, I don't. I mean, I look at shows when it comes to musicals as what part do I want to play? There's not one part in that show that I feel like I'd fit in any way.
You'd be a good
You
Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's boring.
You can be
Like,
Rocky.
I can be Brad because of my hair combed over. Woo.
No, I think I think you'd be a good Brad because you embody Brad a lot.
So I'm playing myself.
No, because
no, he's saying you're an asshole.
No, okay.
asshole. No,
Asshole.
No, you were like even with the theme of the movie where you're kind of like I'm not saying uptight about it, but a little bit, right?
About what?
About
What are we
just
uptight
like
about?
just be the movie in general, like just be like not uptight. I'm not saying you're homophobic
we
or
just
anything.
all start like talking shit about you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like, and I think you playing that character and then kind of letting your guard down towards the end, and then you're in full cosplay. It would be
Maybe if I did
you
the
would
show,
shine.
I would feel a little different
Yeah.
about it. But just watching it and stuff,
I'm not an
See,
actor.
I did this
I'm
show,
not.
and
I'm
I
not in
love it.
theater, but it seems like every single person who's a part of that production, I don't see anyone not having a good time.
I mean,
It just looks like a fucking blast.
Could you be an alien?
Oh, like
See,
one of the
riffraff.
one of the people
Why would
dancing.
all of that is so. Oh my god! Don't even get me started on dance crap. I can't dance to save my life. I was once told that I was the best fake dancer the dance coach has ever seen.
Then you'd be
that
perfect
a
for
good
Rocky
thing?
Horror.
Damn.
It's horrible.
There's not many good. There's not big music dancing productions. A lot of it's just throwing your arms and shaking your boobs.
Pretty much.
What about an alien in the background just chilling?
Nope.
Because you don't like the chill.
Now, if I'm dedicating to a show, I want to actually be in the show.
Yeah. If you're still watching, let us know what you think of Rocky Horror. So you have Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter. You have Susan Sarandon as Janet Weiss. You have Barry Bostwick as Brad Majors. Wow, he aged differently. I didn't even
No
realize
idea
that
who
was
he
him at
is.
first. Richard O'Brien as Riff Raff. You had Patricia Quinn as Magenta.
Love her.
You had Nell Campbell as Columbia. You had Jonathan Adams as Dr. Everett V. Scott.
Dr. Everett V. Scott.
Peter Hinwood as Rocky Horror. Meatloaf as Eddie. Charles Gray as the criminologist, and also the narrator. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to like main people. The rest I think are all just credited like dancers and stuff. Unless did I miss anybody?
Mm-mm.
It's a good cast. I will say that.
Yeah.
I don't know many of the original cast. Maybe that's another reason.
Well,
I
the
prefer
big ones are
Dave.
definitely going to be your Tim Curry and Susan Sarandon.
Mhm.
Are your definitely your heavy hitters there.
What about Meatloaf?
I was
Oh,
gonna
he's a
say
he's a
I
heavy
only know
hitter.
Yeah.
I only know Meatloaf.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I only know Meatloaf. I
you
don't know.
Tim Curry.
I don't know that I do.
Have you ever seen
Pennywise.
Clue? Or It?
It yes.
The original
he's the
It? That's
original
that's
Pennywise,
Pennywise.
yeah.
That's a
Mhm.
Tim
That's
Curry.
Tim Curry.
That might be the
Tim
only
Curry
thing
was the
I
voice in
know
a
him.
lot of. He does a lot of voice
Have you
work
seen
as
the
well.
Nigel the Thornberries? Wild Thornberries?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
Oh, wait,
okay.
the cartoon?
Yeah.
He was
Oh
the dad.
yes,
He
yes,
was
I
the,
did.
he was
yes.
Nigel Thornberry with the really big nose.
Okay, that
Yeah,
I did
that's his
see
voice.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was more of my sibling show than my show, but
Mhm.
I did see it at least.
Hold on, he's done other voice things.
Eliza was
that
my
would-
hero growing up because she
That
could
would
talk to animals.
that would that
Oh,
would
yeah,
shock
she
you.
was a good
and I
character.
just wanted to be her so bad.
Yeah, I know it's weird because everybody's like, I judge you on who you know Tim Curry from. It's that's it.
I
He's not one
would
I'm
like
like,
to see myself out. Leave the chat.
I'll just go, bye. He's not one, like, I know he's in so much, like, stuff, and he's really good. I'm not saying that. I'm not familiar.
He was in
But
the,
I am
he
familiar
was
with
in
Meatloaf.
he was in the Clone Wars for Star Wars.
And I just started watching that, and I'm still
Yep,
watching
he plays
that.
Chandler Palpatine. He voices him.
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
He was in Ben 10. He's done so many cartoons and animated stuff.
So you've probably seen things that don't even know that.
Absolutely,
it's
yeah. He
him.
was he
Probably.
played Gordon Godfrey in Young Justice.
Didn't see that.
He did a Transformers.
Oh, he was in Home
cartoon.
Alone.
He was
Oh,
in Home
Home
Alone.
Alone.
He was
Yeah.
Okay.
he was
ran the
the
hotel.
That was the first thing I've seen him in then. Yeah.
He's done a lot of video games. He actually was in Brutal Legends, the game I'm playing right now. He's done Ben 10 a lot. Scooby Doo, he played the Goblin King. Scooby Doo and the Goblin King, he was the Goblin King.
I probably saw that. I just don't
Wasn't he
remember.
Rooster in Annie?
The musical, like the first musical?
The movie with
Oh.
Carol Burnett?
Maybe.
Or am I wrong?
I've never seen Annie though.
I have seen Annie. I grew up watching Annie, and
I
I
know
know
the
it.
sun will
I'm
come out
pretty
tomorrow.
sure- I'm pretty
That's
sure
done.
He did
he's-
Lemony Snicket's voice in the Series of Unfortunate Events video game.
I
Oh,
didn't
that's
play
cool.
I didn't
Yeah.
play that one.
He was in an episode of Monk.
I never saw Monkey either.
Rugrats Go Wild, he played Nazareth Thornberry, but that was just his character.
He
Nazareth
was
Thornberry.
Rooster.
Okay, so Annie, then I would know him from too.
He was Miss Brannigan's brother. The one
Oh.
that came in was just
Scary
like
Movie
the
2.
swindler.
Yes. Okay.
Scary Movie
yeah.
2, Terrors of the Crypt. He was in an episode. He's fantastic.
He's all over the place.
Okay, so
Um,
then there are some things I know him. Very random things, nothing big.
Yeah.
So, well, some things big, like Home Alone. That's probably what No, I think maybe I saw Annie first, and then Home Alone. I don't remember.
All right, so well, before I get into facts and stuff about the movie, so initially, what did you guys think of the movie? Where did you come across this movie, and what does it do for you, or what are your feelings on it?
Okay, so I saw the remake on ABC first. That was my first time ever watching the show.
Mhm.
And then I really enjoyed it because I'm a huge Adam Lambert fan. Just knowing I love music. I'm a huge music person, just listen to everything but country. And I watched Adam Lambert on American Idol. And that's how I know Adam Lambert. I absolutely loved him. I vote for him like crazy. So I'm like, oh, Adam Lambert's in it. I will now watch it. I never had, like, people are saying, oh, you need to really watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. You really like it. You know, you love sci-fi. It's crazy. You didn't watch it before. I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And then I really checked it out when Adam Lambert was in it. And Adam Lambert is probably, you know, my favorite character. I don't really see like people I can like connect to in this like movie or not movie, play, whatever you want to call it, musical. But I do really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. I like the songs. I really like that, you know, it's like sci-fi-ish, because you don't see too many sci-fi musicals. So Eddie is my favorite character, and I hate that he's like so short-lived. Because Adam Lambert plays him in the new one, and then the old one it's Meatloaf. So of course I like it, you know, the musical characters because they're
Yeah.
music. So it was really sad when he died. I like Janet; she's kind of fun. Magenta's kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if I was a decent actor and if I had a pick of who I would play in that movie, I mean, I would love to be Dr.
Eddie?
Frankenfurter.
Oh, really?
You could pull that off.
I would love to be
You
Dr.
have the confidence.
That's Tim
for
Curry's
that.
role, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna like really maybe blow people's minds. I do not like Tim Curry's character in this. I think he's really like mean, like
Oh,
really
100%. He's supposed to be.
narcissistic,
Yeah.
Controlling, manipulative, and I do not like
You're
people
right.
like that. So therefore,
Nailed it.
I really don't like him.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So it really upsets me how he treats a lot of the characters in this. So I don't really even the people if you haven't seen it, I don't know if I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but they are like
It's been out
aliens.
since the 75.
Okay, so
you can say some spoilers. you're
okay,
good.
so they're aliens from another planet who are living here. I guess for a vacation, an extended vacation. They're celebrating a holiday, if I remember correctly. I did not get to watch it in time for this show.
They're
I remember
they're
it.
celebrating the creation of Rocky.
Oh yes, because he wanted that to be his best.
Sex slave.
Yes, but I'm okay. I was trying to be. So he's been working on this for quite some time. Is at least my interpretation of it. I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's how I always took it every time I watched it. Because I've watched it several times now.
Because Eddie was the first one, and Eddie didn't work out so well, so he
He
had to
did
create
not.
another one.
Yeah,
E-
Eddie was
e-
supposed to be the sex slave.
Mhm.
And Eddie was more popular than him, and he did not like that. That's how I took that. I don't know if that's correct,
Well,
but
he
that
was
was my
too.
interpretation.
He was too wild.
he had
couldn't-
too much autonomy.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had too much autonomy, and he was just
Could be.
like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And
You
he was just like,
can't
"You're
hold him
dead."
down. And
He
Eddie
didn't everybody love him more though?
Eddie wasn't also
Eddie was super fun.
Eddie also wasn't gay, so that was a
Right.
big problem for Dr. Frankenfurter because he wasn't sexually attracted to Dr. Frankenfurter, and he went and hooked up with Columbia.
Yes, Columbia.
So then he put him on ice, and he took half his brain out.
Yes.
That's so when you see Eddie and he's bleeding from his head, that's why.
Yeah.
And
And he
so
ended up
half
killing
his
him.
brain was used in Rocky. So when
Mhm.
he creates then Rocky, that's why Rocky is so repulsed by him because he becomes rebellious and because he has half of Eddie's brain.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was a little confused by that each time I watched it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have too much clarity on that. I have
Yeah.
seen it several times, and I'm still trying to figure that out. So thank you for explaining that to me.
So yeah, and that was the thing with Rocky too. Like a lot of it, especially like they do it on the thing like Rocky's like running away from Dr. Frank. He's like,
Yes.
I don't want that. I'm not into that. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm not gay. Like you know what I mean? Like, and then he's upset by it. He's like, I made this thing. I can make you. I could break you. Type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I did catch
I
that.
made you to be my thing, my toy.
It's not
and
Yeah.
easy having a good time.
It even hurts my face to smile or something like that. What he's like,
hurts to smile.
yeah, yeah. It's I don't know. There's a lot. Yeah, there's definitely some things to it that people like. If you watch it a couple times, you don't pick up on.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
seen it as many times as everybody else.
Mhm.
Probably. I'd say.
I'm sure you've seen it more than I have.
I've watched it
I'd
a lot.
say 3 or 4 probably. But I do like the newer version probably because I like the cast more. And they're like more like of a modern cast. People I know, people I can connect with, people I'm
Yeah.
familiar with, and I just love Adam Lambert.
First time I seen it was a shadow play, a shadow cast. It was up in Hazleton. My aunt Colleen took me. I think it was me, my aunt Colleen, and my aunt Mary. I'm not maybe no, it was just me and Colleen and some of her friends when in her cosmetology scene, and we went to the theater, the beer theater where you can get beer and watch movies and eat food.
Yeah.
Oh, up in
The Cinema Draft House.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
But when they did it, they were playing the movie on the screen, and then the actors played the movie in front of the screen.
Oh.
So you're watching both. So they were pretty much lip syncing the movie. I believe that's the way they did it. They lip synced the movie, or they would play the movie. I forget. I don't remember how they did it, but they had the movie going while they were doing the play.
Mhm.
And I was more into it because just like people screaming all around me and they're yelling, like there's.
Slut asshole.
Yeah, well, I mean, back in the day too, when I first seen it, I was also like still in high school. So when you seen Brad,
Mm-hmm.
you were asshole wasn't what you were supposed to scream.
Oh, yeah, you're supposed to like him, I guess.
No,
I don't-
you're
he's
supposed to
not like-
scream the F word.
Oh, he's not very likable either,
Yeah.
but
So that's what you're supposed to scream at Brad most of the
no,
time.
that's not nice.
And then it turned
They
into
changed that.
and they changed it to asshole. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, it's good that they changed
Yeah.
it.
So
At least Janet's fun.
yeah, Janet gets obviously slut.
Yes, I have
yelled
heard
at her.
that.
But the
Yeah,
funny thing is,
she's
if someone
cute.
yells it too early, you're like slut. You're like she's not a slut yet. Give her some time.
Yeah.
And then someone's supposed to yell, "We gave her time last week and she blew it."
Oh, that's so different.
Yeah, like
It's awesome.
It's just a lot
I
of
love
fan
it.
interaction and people yelling and screaming.
It's like a
Uh,
wrestling match.
It
for you.
is.
I mean, yeah.
That's why I don't like it.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
I've never gone to a heckling. Like I've gone to the burlesque version and Jim Thorpe, and they didn't really heckle too much.
I mean,
It's tough. Like when you first go in and you're someone who wants to yell, you have to gauge the room because if you're the only one who really knows the spots and the stuff, and you're the only guy yelling, then people like can turn on you. Like, what are you doing? Like as if people you're with
The
a bunch.
cast will love you though.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
So like when it first starts off, a lot of the newer, like a lot of the beginning, people aren't yelling. So what usually a good shadow cast will do or a good theater production will do is they will mic up one of the actors or maybe that's like one of the dancers or something. And they'll put him off screen with a
Mhm.
microphone, and they usually run that microphone to a speaker in the corner of the room and not through the main PA. So then that guy will be like, "Slut, asshole," and then
Mhm.
people hear it coming from the back of the room. So then they think it's somebody in the crowd, and then it kind of gives everyone the okay, and then that actually becomes part of the show where someone's yelling it from the background, and then everybody else starts participating if they know the lines too.
Our
Oh.
guy that played Riff Raff did that off stage before he came on and scenes that he wasn't on because he's played Riff Raff and Frank for like years. So he has like all of the callbacks like memorized. So when we were there, he was like off stage,
Yeah.
and everybody was just kind of like, "Oh, we're allowed to do this," because it's
Yeah.
rural Pennsylvania, and they're like, "What is this?"
Yep,
So,
it's fun.
Yeah,
I
it
know, it
sounds
was fun.
fun.
That's the way I experienced it the first time, and then I went and watched the movie, and I was like, I love the movie, but I would 100% go to a shadow or a theater version over the movie
That makes sense because you can be more
All day long.
interactive.
Yeah, I think it's a great time, and it's fun to like see people that you would think would be like very uptight and not be into the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and then like we went to Shocktoberfest, so there's a lot of people like I would say good old boys with their with some red hats and stuff like that, and I was like, this is their first time, they're gonna fucking hate this,
No, they probably got right into it.
and they
right?
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, and then so I'm probably gonna mispronounce this. Is it the Genesis or
Genesis.
Genesis Theater?
Genesius. Sorry.
Genesius, sorry, yeah, the Genesius Theater did the production of it, and I gotta say, out of all of the theater versions I have ever seen, the best. Theirs was the
Yeah.
best. So the way they did it was, I said, "Are you guys gonna play the movie on top?" Because the way they did it inside the theater, so if they do it in their theater, they have better props and obviously stage production, but they did it just kind of on the fly in a tent at Shocktoberfest. And then the top of the tent is where they put their projector to show the things that you would normally watch on the screens.
Mm-hmm.
And the way and then it had a full band. So when they were when they were doing the musicals, it wasn't like they were playing a track and singing along to a track. There was legit people there with guitars, keyboards, drums, and they were all off to the side of the stage. So it was a full band playing the music and people
Nice.
singing to it, and it was done amazingly. Like it was and the entire cast was just fantastic. Like, you know, sometimes you go see a theater and you're like, the one guy, maybe this person didn't, I like the character, they didn't represent the character as well. Every single person in that production nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. The doctor was played by a black gentleman, which was awesome because when you don't know.
He looked beautiful from the pictures.
You didn't
My
know
God.
at first. So usually doctors, played by a white dude. There's not any people of color really represented in Rocky Horror.
No.
Right? So when he first comes out, the way they do it is he comes down the elevator in the movie and then he presents himself and that's the way it goes. So this one, they fill the stage with smoke and he's in the smoke with the robe and he's doing it and then he just like looks up and then he starts singing. You're like, oh, it's a black dude. This is cool.
Yeah.
And then he flies open the coat and then everyone starts catcalling and wah!
I love it. I love that so much.
And then Rocky was also played by a black gentleman.
Yeah.
And he looked like he had a Campbell's soup can inside of his shorts to the point where like even my aunt was like, holy shit. I was like, good for you, right? Like dude was killing it. He was killing the game. I don't know how much of that was legit him, but if it was, the dude's blessed. The dude has been blessed. It was very, very good. The narrator was absolutely fantastic. So there's a guy, I won't say his actual name on the podcast. I mean, I probably could. He's never going to hear this, but there's a guy who lives right behind Shocktoberfest, and he's the only neighbor in that area who calls the cops on Shocktoberfest every single night they do it.
Oh my God.
Why would someone do that?
Yeah.
Just leave.
So the thing is like
Go on
where
vacation.
you live in
Yeah.
Shocktoberfest, the train that goes by every couple minutes is louder than Shocktoberfest is for the 1 month they're there. And it's bringing local business in, it's helping people, and you're that one neighbor always calling the cops because you're hearing a chainsaw every now and then. And they're
Oh,
done
my-
by 10 o'clock at night every night. Like, it's not like they're there till 2 a.m. with chainsaws and people screaming and all that stuff. And
Or
it's
they're
one-
there all year.
Yeah, it's where one
It's like
time.
3 months out
so
of the year.
they were using, like, during the play, like, they kept saying the neighbor's name, like, we'll do this show as long as we can unless this asshole calls the cops. And everyone's like, asshole. Yeah, like,
Hell yeah.
it was,
That's great.
yeah,
I love that.
It was really funny. Yeah, it was really. I would definitely. I would love to go see them do it again when they're actually in their theater. I know they had some issues. I think they had a fire in the theater,
Oh.
and then because of COVID, they can't have people indoors at the theater and stuff. So it is really hard right now for performing arts when it comes to theaters and stuff like that to be making their money to keep their bills, to keep their theaters, to do any of that. So it is really cool that Shocktoberfest gave them a platform to do it and people can enjoy it, and possibly when the theater opens back up, it'd be another spot for people to go to enjoy local theater.
Yeah,
I think
that'd
that's
be
very
great.
important.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think I have never really gone to theater shows ever. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
love theater.
Right? And then I go to BTE.
I was gonna say you've gone with me.
I went to BTE with him, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, I wish I would have known about this longer. Like, I want to see more productions at the Bloomsburg Theater Ensemble. They're fantastic. And then I go to the Majestic, and I see Clue, and I was like, this is fantastic. And then I hear about this place in Reading. I'm like, it's good to know about these things. And it's good for people to open their minds up and go experience theater. It's very, very important. Yeah. So and it's one of those things too that people don't realize that they're taking a huge hit. Like the arts are taking a big hit right now because
Especially
of
the
COVID.
high school kids in drama club.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're all the next wave of those people who can entertain you, and they're
Mhm.
the same people that maybe one day will be in movies or TV or plays. Like they have to have a start somewhere. You have to kind of like the movie earlier we talked about, the Sam Hain movie. Like people need to work their kinks out and figure out what they are and figure out what they want to do. And maybe none of those people are ever actors again, but they have that production experience. They can go help in another aspect. Like you need to go through those motions, and right now it's hard to do that because of the shutdown.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
yeah, huge props to that theater. Please go for. I will tag them in the links below. And they even gave his address. Yes, they did. They said they gave his address. It was really funny. But
They put his address in the play.
yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
they're like, he lives at this address right here. If you want to go knock at his door and tell him to, like,
Oh my god.
savages, yeah, absolute savages.
Well,
So they
everything's up for games at Rocky Horror Picture Show.
yeah, they don't fuck around. They did so when they did the scene with when Doctor goes into Janet and Brad's room,
Mhm.
they really expanded on those scenes.
Oh,
Really
God.
expanded, like to the point where it's like my grandmother was there and I was losing it.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, in the movie, obviously, he tricks
Yeah.
Janet and Brad to thinking that they are the opposite
other.
people, and then
Mhm.
they both give in to the temptation.
Ooh.
Right? And then, except that when Brad gives in, he really gives in. I mean, to the point where they even like spit on the hand.
Oh my god.
They went for it hard.
Good for them.
And then later on, they do another scene, and then Brad comes out in just his long T-shirt and still his underwear, and he like limps that on stage.
Oh, gee.
Our
and, like-
guy that played Brad did that the next scene where he's like, oh.
Yeah, like he comes out in the narrator just reading his book, and he just goes, "Rookie." I'm not actually. Who is the narrator? Because the narrator, he was the narrator,
Why
and
don't
he
you shoot
also
out
did.
shout out the actors?
I'm terrible at names, so I'll give it to you to do it.
Okay.
Hold on, because I will butcher names.
Sure, I'll do it. I'll butcher names if I can't read them.
Christopher Spratt was the narrator, and he also played the piano. And like I said,
Oh,
absolutely fantastic.
multi-talented.
Yeah, if you want to read off some people there.
That's great.
Sure. Well, it's like I've never seen a playbill before.
Yeah. I know. I don't see many of them, so yeah.
Okay, sorry if I mess up your name. Dr. Frankenfurter was played by James Barksdale. Brad was Zach Haynes. Janet was Dara Himes. Riff Raff, Colin T.
He was
Bollinger.
amazing as Riff Raff. Amazing.
Columbia as Christina Hawes. Magenta as Becca Melanios.
Columbia was she was killing it. We'll say.
Oh my god,
I was-
saw pictures.
I was a fan. I was like, "Yo, she's beautiful.
Fucking
she's a good
junk
looking
in
girl.
the trunk,
Yeah,
girl.
she was-
Hell yeah.
She got some curves, you know. When you buy a nice car, you don't want to always hit the straightaways. You want to you want to test it around some
Take it.
turns. You know what I mean?
Eddie and Dr. Scott was played by John Browning. Rocky was played by Jalil Little. Jalil Little.
Yeah.
And the narrator was Christopher Spratt.
Yeah. And then when they did this scene where Great Scott and Dr. Scott shows up, everyone throws toilet paper rolls. Like they literally gave everyone
Scott.
a full toilet paper roll.
Mhm.
Usually they have a piece of toilet paper. No, they gave the whole. So it literally looked like when someone TPs a tree.
Mhm.
That's great.
Toilet paper was flying everywhere, to the point where like it kind of was taking over the show.
Mhm.
So they were on the scene, like doing their thing, and like toilet paper's hitting them while they're on stage, and they're just like acting like it's not happening.
Yep, you gotta go with it. I
Right.
love that.
And then it got to the point where like people were having more fun with the toilet paper than they were paying attention to the show. And the person playing doctor was like, he snapped his fingers, stop, eyes on me, I get all the attention. And then everyone's like, oh, and he's like, thank you, babies. And then he went right back to the scene, like just handled it exactly.
That's
like
so
yeah,
funny.
he fucking killed it. It
I
was
love
so
that
good.
shit.
It was so good.
Also, the Phantoms in the ensemble: Rosanna Brosnan, Evelyn Gumbar, Lorna Graham, Katie McKelvey, Danielle Flum, Hannah Renninger, Edward Hyde, and Evan Watkins.
Yeah.
So
I don't know the girl's name who was going around in the beginning. She was one of the dancers, and she also played the windshield wipers.
yeah.
So in the beginning when they're driving the car,
Yes.
she laid on the front of the stage, spread eagle, and just kept opening and closing her legs.
Yes.
It was, but she was super entertaining. She actually was going around in the beginning with the red lipstick, and if you were a
Mhm.
virgin, she would walk up to you and write it on. She would write V on your forehead, or your hand, whatever you gave her the option to. So we were in line, and she goes, "Who's a virgin here?" And I guess I look like I'd never seen the show. So she's like, "You," and I was like, I had the lips on my hat. I'm like, "I've seen this," and
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, okay." And she goes, "Are you sure?" I was like, "I've seen it." And then I was like,
Mhm.
"1 second though." I go, "Dad," and he was way back in line. I go, "Raise your hand," and he goes, and I said, "Him." And I said, on his forehead, he has no choice. And then he realized I was pointing him out, and he goes, "You motherfucker."
I remember when I was in it, my grandparents saw it for the first time, never saw it before. My grandfather, my Italian grandfather, absolutely loved it. He was like telling my friend Emma Kleckner, who played our Janet, he was like every now and again, he was just like, slap your ass. And so she would just turn around and like slap it. And my grandmother, who's just like very calm and quiet, was like so into it. It really brings people out of their shell.
It
It's
does.
so fun.
Yeah, it definitely gets people. Because it's like we sometimes we do live in a society where, like, I guess sexual talk or even talk of sex in any nature, whether it's heterosexual or not heterosexual, is very like taboo, and people shy away from it and they don't embrace it. And this is that one show where it's like,
It's a dirty, awful thing to talk about.
yeah, and it's like, no, here it is, and it's gay, it's straight, it's trans, it's everything,
everything and
and it's
anything.
accepted, and
Mhm.
it is alien, but it's
Mhm.
not alien. Like it's a very like it's a proud moment.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I
and
mean?
not even just for that. It's very body positive, and
Yeah.
like that show being in Rocky Horror Picture Show was like paramount in my like body acceptance journey.
Yeah.
And like as I was just everybody of all shapes and sizes were in it. Like my friend Emma, who's beautiful, like stick thin model, to like me and some of the other girls and me and some of the other guys and whatnot. It was just like it was from somebody who like didn't want to show like anything to like literally being in lingerie on stage and being like totally okay with it, embracing it, and like not feeling like I had to like be a shrinking violet. It was
Yeah.
like
And it's more or less you're rooting for the characters who are the aliens or the outsiders, which is kind of how the pride community is felt. And then the everyday people, the Brad and Janet, the heterosexuals, are giving in to the temptations
in.
and being converted, even though it's, I mean, if you are, you are. It's not. You're not going to be kind of like throwing shade at it too. Like you're not going to be. You know what I mean? But it's an important film. I think when it comes to that spot of kind of letting loose and open up your inhibitions and accepting, like, even if you're a straight heterosexual man and you go to the show, and as soon as Doctor hits the stage, you catcall him. You call him.
Hell yeah.
You say he's attractive, and you like, you know what I mean. And it's kind of opening up out of your shell and just having fun with it. And
Yeah.
and that's why I like about it. You know what I mean? It's a fun time. It's a really, really fun time.
The show itself is fun, but I think the community that it breeds is the most important part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like you can totally hate the show, but I think it's like the idea of the community is what,
Absolutely.
because it's a garbage show. I mean, like the storyline itself is pretty.
terrible.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
It's like some rock operas. It's like awful.
Yeah.
But it's like it is what it is, and it's
Yeah.
just fun. It's a cult.
It's
So,
fun.
Rocky Horror Picture Show was filmed at the Oakley Court in Windsor, England, which has since been turned into a hotel, and yes, you can actually stay there. The Oakley Court may look fancy in digs now, but when it was used for the filming location, it had no heat and no bathrooms.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my
So imagine
God.
being on set,
No.
filming.
I don't want
That's
to.
kind of normal, I feel, like for
Um,
film stuff.
Susan Sarandon, Janet, was sick with the flu, or according to some sources, pneumonia during the filming in the floor show scene, which is the pool
pool.
scene.
Mhm.
And she was shaking with fever. It's because
Aw.
they were wet and they were not clothed, and it was
I mean,
no
you couldn't
heat.
tell.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
that's a
and no
love her.
no heat, no clothing, and
Trooper.
just freezing while you're there.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
lucky she didn't get like even worse.
Yeah.
She's
right?
fun. She's not very into the movie. Like, if you ask her about it now, she won't even tell you she was in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that.
And a lot of the actors got no royalties from this movie after it was made.
That
Like,
sucks.
the way the deals were cut, like
Mhm.
when a DVD sale goes, the actors don't get really any of it.
That's a shame.
sucks.
They should definitely get something from
Yeah.
it.
And how we're talking about no heat and no, they're like, oh, then not a big deal, you know. But it was in England, and it was filmed in October through December in England. And the castle, some of the castle shots that were, the castle was actually leaking to the point where even if you were in a scene where you're not supposed to be wet, you probably were wet because it was just leaking the entire time.
Love that.
Yeah, Brad said, the guy who played Brad, Barry, was like, I was wet the the entire time.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he said that it was not great conditions.
They're quite
Um,
drafty over there, I'll tell you that.
Just to not get any sort of
There was
money
one
from it in the
designated
past.
war room in the castle where it was space heaters that the cast would
Yeah.
run into between takes until it actually caught on fire.
Oh,
Yes,
Oh shit.
the room caught on fire.
That's
great.
crazy.
I was gonna say, I thought they're like I've just been on sets where like they don't want to pay for heat, so they bring in little space heater kind of things.
Yeah.
But the fact that they burnt down
Burnt
part of the
down,
building,
holy
like
shit.
that's nuts.
The original script for the stage musical, The Rocky Horror, was only 40 minutes long, and the hit song was A Time Warp, and it was written to fill up space. So that they kind of like had one song, and then it's like, all right, fuck, we got to put a movie around it.
Wow.
Yeah. The featured film had several performers who appeared in the Rocky Horror Picture on stage, including Richard O'Brien, Riff Raff, Neil Campbell, who played Columbia, and Tim Curry, who played Frankenfurter, Patricia Quinn, who played Magenta, Meatloaf, who was Eddie, and Jonathan, who was Dr. Scott. So they also did the play and did theater versions of it as well. So
Nice.
they carried over. Rocky Horror Picture Show was filmed in over a 6-week span with a budget of $1.4 million.
That's
Yeah.
how much it costs to film this.
Yep, in 1975.
That's insane.
The famous floating red lip scenes, where the song Science Fiction Double Feature, were inspired by Man Ray's 1936 painting The Lovers. Patricia Quinn sang the song in the original London production of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and she threatened to drop out of the movie when she found out that O'Brien would be singing it instead.
Mm.
Although Quinn did not sing Science Fiction Double Feature, her lips were used in the iconic opening number. So it was her lips, just not her voice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The clock featured in the Time Warp, Riff Raff opens it and there's a skeleton in the closet,
Mm-hmm.
was actually a real skeleton of
What?
of the woman who actually owned the clock.
Shut up.
And it
That's
sold
so gross.
and it sold for £35,000, which is roughly $54,000 at auction.
Someone bought a real skeleton.
Yep.
I mean, they do that all the time. I
Mhm.
mean, you donate your body to science, and they're in the classrooms, so it's not really much
They
different.
better have cleaned
So-
it.
Now it's a movie
Yes.
prop.
Another creepy thing about skeletons in classrooms during those early days is the killer that we would all know as H.H. Holmes, who had what's like the Saw killer, where he had a hotel with like hidden rooms and
Oh, that guy. You would go stay and he would kill you in
Yes.
weird ways.
so
that
he
guy.
would throw your body down a chute into the basement, then take your body and strip it down to the bone, then take the bones and clean them and put them together, and then sell the bones to schools as anatomy skeletons.
Oh.
So there's a very high chance in the Detroit, Michigan, Chicago area that
They
if
were murder victims?
a lot of them possibly were murder victims.
Wait.
So he was selling the evidence of the people he killed to high schools.
In Detroit, Michigan.
And well, he was in Chicago, but he was from Michigan. So they said anywhere in that route that he would have traveled is where he probably, if he needed a quick couple bucks, he would sell a skeleton to a
Oh
school.
my God. God love
That's
those
fucked up.
children.
Oh my god.
Well, they
Oh,
weren't always
dear
kids. It
Lord.
was like adults too.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
God love anybody in
Yeah,
that area
they're-
using those skeletons.
So they're
know,
made,
right?
Let me correct myself.
and some of those are possibly probably still being used, and you would never even know.
Oh, throw them
So-
all out now. Just get rid of them. Get rid of them and start from scratch.
So, like, knowing
bones.
that, whenever they found out that H.H. Holmes was doing that, don't you think, like, it would kind of behoove them to, like, maybe go to all of those high schools and maybe do, like, a DNA, like, maybe
But-
just, like, take
but-
a little sample.
But a lot
And
of
then
it
throw
too
them out.
would have been like
Fake
they
bones.
probably were also real skeletons at some point in time too, because there was a lot
Yeah.
of cadavers where cadavers were used, and they would be like, well, instead of letting go to waste, we could use it for science and put them in actual schools. So there's a probably chance that some of the schools had real skeletons at some point anyway, but it's just the fact that the skeleton was an unidentified, never found body. At that point, it'd be very hard to identify because dental records weren't huge. Because this is like the
That's true. It was very long ago.
I think it was like 1940s or something.
H.H. Holmes, I think, was
I don't know.
probably 1910s.
Yeah, it might be. He was there's
H.H.
there's
Holmes
theater,
was-
there's rumors that H.H. Holmes might have been the Jack the Ripper as well because
Really?
he went to England to study abroad, and the time that he was in England,
Oh, Mark did tell me this actually.
it's rumored. It's not never been confirmed. But then when he left England to come back to America is when all the Jack the Ripper stuff stopped.
Really?
And
So-
he did have an MO of type of people he went after, and a lot of it were like ladies of the night or people who were looking for somewhere to stay.
1893.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even in the 1900s, 18. So yeah, they
Mhm.
definitely didn't have dental records or
No.
DNA or
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So, He completely changed how he killed people as Jack the Ripper, though. That's very interesting.
Well, he had the building now to kind of hide behind, where he had rooms that he can hide bodies, and he didn't like out in the street. He would just kill someone and just leave him and run away.
When he was in England.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But he's still changing his murder style, though, correct? As Jack the
Well, yeah,
Ripper.
because he had more comfortability because he was doing it in an isolated location instead of killing people in an alley. Because in Jack the Ripper, he was just finding ladies of the night in an alley,
And
strangle
murder
them or cut their throat, and then leave them for someone to find. And then when he was in Chicago and he had his murder hotel, he would just book them as a guest, and then he would be like, "Yeah, they checked out and left, but they're in the basement."
Mm-hmm.
And then he had a big furnace put in, and he would just burn all their clothes and all their anything that gave them any traces of them being there.
What a creep.
And then when he
Right.
built I know this is completely off top from Rocky Horror. I'm sorry. Sometimes we go on ADD things here, but
That's
the hotel was built, and every couple months he would bring in a new construction team and then fire them and say they weren't doing a good job and never pay them, and then change the blueprints and have somebody come in and rebuild a completely different structure. So the blueprints never matched to the next person that came in. So no one really knew that there was secret compartments or there was this or there was that. So he was always hiring new teams to come in and do different things.
That's crazy.
Keep the turnover there before they got too
Too
knowledgeable of
too
the.
knowledgeable what was going
the
on.
setup.
How'd he get caught finally?
Yeah.
I'm not really good with serial killers. Like, I find them interesting as somebody
Same.
who's into
I
psychology,
I
but then they
believe-
creep
I
me out
believe he
on a
can-
deep level.
He killed some people that were very, very close to him to the point where people were like, all right, there's really no other place that this could have gone except him. And I think he may have confessed at some point. He's actually buried in Philadelphia.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Hmm.
My Aunt Mary said that the rocking singing voice in the movie was dubbed, and another actor came in because his voice was so bad, and the only reason he got the job because of his muscles.
Mhm.
So,
Well,
Oh,
that would
Mm.
make sense.
yeah.
oh, here you go. Right here. It's actually the next one on our list. Rocky, who played Peter Hinwood, was an underwear model with no acting experience, and all of his lines were cut, and his singing voice was dubbed by singer Trevor White. Sorry. Richard O'Brien borrowed the famous line "Don't dream it, be it" from the back of a magazine, which is actually on my shirt, which is a great quote. Set builders forgot to put a door. This is a cool one. So when they built the set for the laboratory, the set designers never put a door in the scene. So when Dr. Scott had to crash through the wall, that was their only way to make an entrance into the scene again. Because later on, when he chases Janet back up into the laboratory, he couldn't chase her and both get in the elevator and then go up, and then they came back down, and then he got up. So they chased her, and then they run through the hole in the wall and then run down the spiral.
Oh, neat.
So they never installed a door on set.
That's funny.
And that was done
I
on the
love
fly. Steve Martin auditioned to play Brad, but was then passed over for Barry, who had received a Tony nomination in 1972 for creating the role of Danny Zuko in Grease. Rolling Stones frontman Mick Jagger was also asked to play Dr. Frankenfurter for the film, and the creative team turned down in favor of the musical original star Tim Curry. Tim Curry modeled Dr. Frankenfurter's voice after two women, Queen Elizabeth and his mother.
I
But
love
when he
that.
initially did it, it was supposed to be a German voice.
Oh,
And then when
Because
he
Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
yes.
in the film's DVD commentary, O'Brien reveals that him and Patricia had smoked something exotic before filming the song "Damn It, Janet." So they were high as fuck when they sang that song.
I love that.
Oh, Brad.
O'Brien initially warned the first 20 minutes of the movie to be black and white. He wanted the movie to have the first black and white, like The Wizard of Oz, and
What are you
switch the
talking
color.
about? That's what it was.
Yeah, but it was initially the idea was then scrapped by 20th Century Fox.
No, that's what I watched.
In the UK version.
No, there was so on the Blu-ray for the 35th anniversary, there was the alternate black and white. So it was all black and white from the whole beginning until Time Warp when it went to color.
Interesting.
So
I've
around
never
that
seen that.
So
that
I guess
version.
when they
Yeah.
did that version, it was actually that was scrapped by 20th Century Fox. And I guess for the special edition where they put it in because that's the way they originally wanted the movie to be seen,
Okay.
was black
So I was
and
gonna
white.
say I did see it this way.
Yeah, you watched the
that's
UK
cool.
version, right?
Well, I did all the categories. I put it in, and it was like U.S. version or UK. I went UK, and it was like play movie or play black and white alternate beginning. Did that too.
Interesting. There you go.
So-
That's super cool.
I actually just ordered the 35th anniversary edition. Where
But it's like a book.
is it?
The one that I have, I don't know about yours.
Is it Tim Curry on a big 35? What it says a Rocky Horror.
I don't know. I think
I'll
a
show you.
picture of it.
I'll show you the cover. It was supposed to be like to order it on Amazon. It was like $45 to order it. It was really
Oh,
really
man,
expensive.
If that's the case,
And then I got it for $9. Then I found it much cheaper. It's on sale right now for $9.99. It normally goes for $13, but when I was initially looking for it, the Blu-ray plus digital, this is the one I got.
Oh, I didn't get that one. No, mine like it's like a book, and then the back of it's hollowed out with the disc.
Interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's coming in. So I'm excited. Let's see what we else got here. During the dinner scene, Barry pounds his fist on the table and accidentally hitting Susan Sarandon's hand, and her reaction is priceless. So when he bangs on the table, he actually does punch Susan Sarandon's hand. So when she
Aw.
reacts, that's legit her
Oh my
reacting
gosh.
to her hand getting punched.
I love her.
But don't feel sorry for Sarandon. Watch the floor show scene carefully, and she steps on Boswick's foot with her heel, visibly hurting him.
Oh no.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah. Only Tim Curry and Richard O'Brien knew Eddie's remains were under the table during the dinner scene, and then when the body was revealed, the looks of horror in the actors' faces were all real. One of my favorite scenes too, when she's like Eddie, and he's like with the meat cutter.
Yeah, I
Shut up.
remember that.
Shut your mouth.
Oh, poor Eddie.
Pierre LaRoche, who did the makeup for Mick Jagger, was created David Bowie's iconic Ziggy Stardust makeup, created Dr. Frankfurter's look.
Love that.
But it took him so long to apply the makeup, 4 hours, that Curry ended up just doing it himself at some point. So this guy,
Icon.
he created the look, but then Tim Curry did the makeup himself, which Andy Hedder would be very proud.
He would.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
Andy Hedder probably does makeup better than most women I know on
Mhm.
himself. He's amazing. According to Richard O'Brien, Susan Sarandon and Barry Boswick were actually an item during the filming of this movie, but they never came out and actually said that. The London stage production, Eddie and Dr. Scott were played by the same actor. When Meatloaf was brought on aboard to play Eddie, he was disappointed when he found out he wasn't playing Dr. Scott too. And I was really good at Dr. Scott, Meatloaf said in an interview.
Aw,
So when he came
poor
in, that was
Meatloaf.
kind of always a thing that the two people played the same
Yeah.
person.
Mhm.
And then when he came in, he was like, "Oh, I don't get to play both." And I'm like, "No." He's like, "Oh."
I love Meatloaf.
Meatloaf couldn't ride a motorcycle, so a much smaller body double was used for Hopatootie in the close-ups with the star rolling, and the star was rolling in a wheelchair. I don't know what they mean by that. So I guess
But they probably took him around and they shot because like the picture, the way they filmed Meatloaf's face during Hopatootie was very much up front, like on his
he
face,
couldn't ride a
looking
motorcycle.
around.
Yeah.
So he was probably in a wheelchair, like with his arms like this, and they were just
Yeah.
shooting like up at his face.
When Rocky Horror first opened, Meatloaf and director Jim Sherman brought tickets for a screening in the Midwest, and they were the only ones in the movie theater
Oh.
for the opening of the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
1975, and it was a
That's
very
funny.
pride-induced movie, so well, people weren't ready for it yet, I guess.
no. Hilarious.
See, I thought the 70s were like a free time, but I guess not.
Depending on where, I mean, they see it in the Midwest, so take that as you may. The movie's midnight showings began at the Waverly Theater in New York City on April 1st, 1976.
Oh no.
As time went on, the audience members began shouting and screaming and throwing props like toast and rice. So that's when that
So my
whole
birthday started it all.
April 1st, 1976.
Not 76, but April 1st.
Yeah.
Great.
It started the shadow play, where the audience
Yeah.
participation came in. According to Rocky Horror Picture Show fan club president Sal Piro, I hope I said that right, a Staten Island kindergarten teacher was the first to create the audience callbacks, where the fans shouted jokes back to the screen during the movie. So, like an example,
What a king.
Dr. Frankenfurter, there's a lot of times where pauses are used in the show. So he says something, and they scream, "What's your favorite food, Dr. Frankenfurter?" And he goes, "Come with me." Or like when he gets off the elevator for the doctor scene, the first time you see him when they create Rocky, you're supposed to scream, "Dr. Frankenfurter, what's your favorite color?" And the first line of the movie
Magenta.
is like, magenta. Like, so people,
I love it.
yeah.
That's just like for like the anticipation.
Yeah.
Like my favorite one is constipation.
Yeah.
Is my favorite one.
Another good call out is during the beginning when they first show Riff Raff singing in the window. You're supposed to scream, "Fuck you, God!" And then the lightning hits, and then that happens again later on. You're like, "Fuck you again, God!" Yeah, there's a lot
I
of
like when he's in the window and he says, "Sing to us, oh hairless one."
yeah. She's like, "I'm all wet." She goes, "She already was wet."
I love it.
There's
I
so
just
many-
think it's so fun.
There's so many really fun. Oh, the first time you see the narrator, you're supposed to scream, "This man has absolutely no fucking neck."
Yeah.
And then he goes something about needing air. And he goes, "Like your fucking neck." It's like there's so many times you just scream.
It's so fun.
Yeah,
Oh, I love it.
It's a great time.
Mhm.
Here's a great one. You'll like this one. Princess Diana was a Rocky Horror fan. The
course
princess
she
requested
was.
a meeting with Tim Curry In an interview, Curry remembers she told him with a wicked smile that Rocky Horror was quite complimented to my quite completed my education. So she was also a very big fan of the Pride community, even though at those times it wasn't very open to say that. It's
What an
also been,
absolute queen she was.
Yep.
Oh my god.
and it was
loved
also
her,
a big
yeah.
thing too, where every time Frank, not Frank, yeah. Why am I having a
Tim
brain
Curry?
fart? No. Frank, fucking not.
Frankenfurter?
No,
Oh, Eddie.
no. Queen.
uh,
Why am I not?
Freddie Mercury.
Freddie
Di-
Mercury. Yeah, Frank. And Freddie Mercury, when he was in town, he would actually go pick up Diana and sneak her out of the castle and take her to gay clubs. And
Buddy.
they'd
I
party
love
all night.
that. I love
Oh,
that.
that's so cool. I
Like,
didn't know that.
Photos are
Love
now
that.
surfacing of like Diana in a disguise in a gay club with Freddie Mercury partying.
Interesting.
That's so
I love
awesome.
that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Those
Oh,
two are so great.
Yeah.
She was so ahead of her time. They
She
did her
was.
so dirty.
Rocky
They
Horror
did.
Picture Show was released on VHS for the first time in the United States in 1990. It was originally slated for $89.95. So this movie came out in 1975 and wasn't released on VHS in America until 1990, and they almost made it a $90 price tag so people wouldn't buy it.
That's
Why would somebody
Crazy.
do that?
The depictions of the movie. Like, we literally live in a culture now where if you put a pride shirt on a child, people are saying you're converting children to try to be gay.
That's the most ridiculous. That's not even possible.
Yeah.
no exactly. exactly.
So there was probably a thing going around. If I'm just speculating at this point,
Mhm.
that people thought if you watch this movie it would turn you gay
That's so ridiculous.
because people are idiots. So yeah, it was a $90 VHS and it wasn't released until 1990. 1975 movie, by the way. Let's put that out again.
That's
crazy.
insane.
Rocky Horror Picture Show is
Yeah, but VHS didn't exist all that time though either. So.
yeah. I mean, VHS was out. I had VHSs in the 80s.
I had it in
Yeah,
the
but-
90s.
I was in
yeah.
86.
I had
Not
it
in
in
the
the
70s.
90s.
So I'm sure it took some time.
Dude, a movie came out. It was on VHS like 6 months after
Yeah.
it hit the theater.
But
Mhm, yeah, I had it
how
in the
many
90s.
movies had come out since that point?
On
That
VHS on 1990. On 1990.
No, I mean in theaters and all that stuff that were more heavy hitters. They're like, okay, put this out because this is gonna make us money.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
They hit a dull January month and said, Rocky Horror, you got your shot.
maybe. But to charge $90 then for it.
Yeah, I don't understand that part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that part's weird.
Many movies in the TV show have paid tribute to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, including Fame, Glee, The Drew Carey Show, That 70s Show, Third Rock from the Sun, CSI New York, Charles in Charge, Halloween 2, Losers, Men in Black, Vice Squad, and The Perks of Being a Wallflower. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is the record holder for the longest theatrical release in history, and it continues to play in theaters across the United States to this day, usually around Halloween time. Tim Curry's advice to Frankenfurters: never think about it as drag, because it's not. It's just what people wear in Transylvania. Just get over it.
Oh, I love that.
And
Oh, what a guy.
that is our. I literally got chills reading that. I'm not gonna lie when I read that just
That's how
now.
people dress in Transylvania.
Yeah,
Get over
he's
it.
not drag. He's not transvestite. That's just acceptable in Transylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that.
Yep.
And the Glee episode's so much fun.
Yeah. Was Damien on when they did that?
No, not at that point.
No, I was
That's
curious to see if
earlier.
Damien maybe played a
No.
Rocky Horror character.
No.
Little Irish boy out there is Rocky.
Definitely not. I mean, if you know anything about him, no.
So I have a question. What's the difference between the UK version?
One song.
One song.
What song?
I don't know. Superheroes? I think
Yes.
it was called?
Yep.
Oh.
I don't even know what that song is.
Superheroes
'cause-
was in our show.
Mhm.
Oh, I completely even forgot about
Yes,
superheroes.
Superheroes is not in the U.S. version.
Yeah, I had to Google it. I
Yeah,
was
he
like,
Googled
what
it and
What
sent
in
it
the
to me.
world is the difference?
Because he said, like, he goes, "What's the difference between a UK and an American version?" And I was like, I have no idea. And then he sent him. I was like, I had no idea.
Because that's the song they sing at the end. Yeah.
I don't know.
That
I couldn't pick it out.
Superheroes is after the floor show and after the house gets taken off and it's just kind of like they just like get up and just like walk away. But it's like the song then it's just kind of like the final song and like Brad and Janet are like they have their thing where like they're just singing about like how terrible that was and how like they cheated on each other and blah 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 blah. And then like what happens is like Janet takes off her ring and she gives it to Brad and walks away. And then she turns around and brings it back, and they're in love again.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's how it
they
ends.
ended it as well in this
Mhm.
version on that I went and seen.
The theater one, yeah. I forgot about superheroes.
I
I
can't get
think
rid
I
of this.
heard it.
So yeah,
somewhere.
so Superheroes is a song in the theatrical version and the Rocky Horror Show since 1973 to this day, including the next 1975 original film. Uh, it was the musical arrangement. Sorry, I'm reading nonsense here. I'm just trying to find the actual. I don't see anything on why it was taken out. That's what I'm really interested in.
Maybe time.
Maybe. They're like, all right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Let's cut it.
Yeah, I remember it in one of the versions I watched. I didn't think
So
I
they
watched
cut
the UK
Superheroes
version.
to have the time warp play again in America.
Yeah, because at the end, it was when the credits were rolling, it was Time Warp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, because it ends with Magenta and Riff Raff going like, and we can do the Time Warp again. Cut. And like,
Yep. So the best part about it is there was some people who stood up and did the time warp during the time the time warp was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
On the during the show, and I guess he was like, people were like, "Get up, you can party." So everyone was kind of just enjoying it and clapping and kind of dancing in their seat. And then at the very end, they're like, "We're gonna do it one more time. Everyone dance
We
with
did
us."
that
And
when-
then
we did
everyone
that.
stands up and they actually
all the
participate.
cast went out into the audience and like we're picking like old ladies up and we would dance with them.
Yeah,
and
they didn't do
whatnot.
any of that obviously because of COVID. But in the
Oh,
very
yeah.
beginning, Magento walks out. She walks out into the crowd, gets on someone's table because like there's picnic table set up, and she was the actual her Magenta and Columbia were the two that did the lips, the opening sequence song.
Fun.
Yeah, they were absolutely. It was so much fun. I wish I didn't know. I was going literally last second, so I got like a message right away, like, "Hey, we're going to see Rocky Horror in Reading. Do you want to come?" And I was just like, "Are tickets available?" They're like, "We don't know. You can get in the car and hope it happens. If not, I don't know what you're gonna do the whole time." I was like, "I'll just fucking sneak in." And I'll slip.
It's an open
Yeah,
field.
I'll slip $10 to an actor. I'll make sure someone gets money, but I'm gonna be there. But yeah, so I get there and I was like, man, I fucking wish I would have brought more people along. But like, I wish I would have told you all about it. But it literally happened like we were supposed to go Sunday, but
Mhm.
then things fell apart on Sunday and we weren't able to go. So it was kind of like a last minute thing. But it was really cool, man. It was nice
They're
to hang
so
out
fun.
with my two aunts. My dad was there, my mom was there, my grandmother. So it was like a quick like last spur of the moment go see Rocky Horror Picture Show at Oktoberfest, and I'm really glad I went. It was
It looked
fantastic.
like a really good time.
Yeah, and it was a
That's awesome.
little bittersweet because I mean I try to be as real as possible, right? So I'm trying to I'm gonna try to do this without getting too worked up. But Rocky Horror was a thing that my aunt Colleen got me into, and she's not doing too great. There may not be much time left in her clock, but she was there and struggling, and she's not. The cancer is definitely winning this battle, which sucks.
Aw.
And but she has a hard time eating, keeping anything down. But there was zero chance that she was missing this show this weekend. So that might be the last legit thing we do that she was like going to be taking part of or enjoying from now until till the sand runs out in the hourglass. So it's a Rocky Horror Picture is always going to have that deep connection for me.
That's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad you got
Yeah.
to have that with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's why Monday's show is a little rough because I got a call from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Hey, it's not good. Like, you can come up and see her." But I then again, this is where I struggle as a human, where I seen so many people go down this road, and it's fucking hard to go say that last goodbye.
Mhm.
It is.
And my personality is just like, just gonna step away for a second, and maybe my last experience will be that show.
Right.
But that's selfish of me, and I should
No.
probably go say goodbye. Like, it's weird. Like, I feel like I'm
Mhm.
less of a person if I don't.
Nope.
But
No.
it's tough, man. Like,
It
even
is
talking
tough.
about it now, like, obviously I feel like I'm putting stuff out there for my family on the show. But I think the thing with this network and the thing I want to try to recreate is sometimes you say you're good and sometimes you say you're bad. And full disclosure, I was going to take the rest of this week off for the show. I wasn't going to record. But it is important to show your ups and your downs, you know, and show that we are human on this network. Like, you're going through stuff all the time and you still come through and show. And to be the leader of the show and the guy who runs it, sometimes you got to, you guys are looking forward to being here just as much as I'm enjoying doing it. And I know people enjoy watching it. So I had to suck it up tonight and get over it and kind of figured it out. And the show must go on and still do the show. So I appreciate you guys joining us. And I do apologize for not doing a show on Monday, but we'll bring it back next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty proud of myself. I got through that. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
good
Yeah.
job, man.
All right. In closing, anything to plug? Or you have your fashion
I
thing?
do,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's talk about that.
This was what I was supposed to have last week. I can't tell if it's on there.
It's on there.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is
This and the pictures of this will all be on Facebook and Instagram as well.
yes, it's so Marvel has a license with a couple different places right now. One of them is Coach. They have several different bags.
Is there any PlayStation logo on that? Because it's exclusive to.
It's
a joke. It's a
I know it is. I was gonna.
She's looking for it.
Well, I was pretending to
Oh,
look for it. I
okay.
didn't actually.
She's like, I was going along with the joke.
Oh,
you
it was
ass.
a joke. All right. I was gonna go along with it, but it's
All
been
right, sorry.
ruined. It's
Yeah.
been ruined.
Yeah.
All right. So
It's a great bag. I wish I was. I mean, I can carry a
You
purse.
could.
Who the fuck cares?
It's
Right?
2020.
you could.
Dude, like, we're just talking about Rocky Horror
Yeah.
and fucking don't dream it, be it. I'll fucking wear a purse if I want to have a purse.
If you want a Spider-Man purse, go get one. Yeah.
I'm more into backpacks though.
It's on the Coach outlet. It's They
Might
they
have little
actually
ones.
they actually have backpacks.
Do they?
They do.
Coach backpacks?
They do.
They're
Yeah.
probably like $600 though.
No, I got this on the Coach outlet, so
Yeah.
it's cheaper.
But they're like this big, Tony.
Oh.
Little baby backpack with Spider-Man on
With
it.
my big fat body and a little tiny backpack, I'll look ridiculous.
I think they have big and small. I think they have whatever size you want, a bigger size and a smaller
Okay.
size.
I was gonna say usually with fashion stuff, when it comes to backpacks, they're like the same size
The
as
really
the purse,
tiny
but they
ones.
have the straps.
Well, the thing is, like, that's kind of like the bone that women get. Like, sure, you can have a bag, but it's gonna be really tiny. You can
Just
can't
like
fit-
pockets.
Exactly, pockets,
Yup.
backpacks,
You want
hoodie.
pockets? Sorry, we need to see more of your ass.
Yeah.
Sorry. Purses, it's
Yeah.
gonna be really small. Sorry.
Well, I will say you can get smaller or bigger bags here in the Coach line because I had to stare at them several times to make a
But
decision.
it goes from like a bag to a suitcase.
It
Yeah.
does.
There's
no in
Yeah,
between.
there really isn't. I would say that they have a pretty good variety of size. We'll say.
Yeah.
I went with this one because I liked the color, the vibrant color, and Spidey hanging upside down.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And
like
I could,
that.
yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
And then there's like 2 pockets, so I could fit a good bit of stuff that was in my mini Coach backpack that I had last week compared to this.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could fit a good bit of stuff in there, and they have a couple different sizes. I just didn't like some of the bags that they only snap close, and I like to have. I don't mind that. I have a few bags that way, but I also like when they have a
And what
zipper
is
and
this,
close all
Coach?
the way. Yep, this is Coach. But you know what? Here's the thing I'm gonna share. If you want anything from the Marvel Coach line, you have to be signed up for Coach Outlet because I don't know that it's available on the full price Coach stuff, which is
So the
probably
backpack
better.
is pretty cool. So it's a white backpack.
Mhm.
It's got looks like a bunch of patches on it. It's
Yeah.
got
That's cool.
Captain America, looks like Doctor Strange, Miss Marvel, Black Panther. Who's that up top there? Another Spider-Man, and then it's like Coach, but like a comic book bubble.
Mhm.
It is $279 for that backpack.
And that is a cheaper price. It sounds like a lot, but sometimes you pay $400 to $600 for Coach.
There is
I'll go
a
see a Broadway show. Sorry, guys.
there is a fanny
That's
pack,
all right,
a
that's all right.
Spider-Man fanny pack
That's
for
right.
$120.
Fanny pack it up, guys. It's back.
You
the
can get the
90s.
patches. You can get the patches that are on the bag
For $700.
for $80.
$80. How about $80, Nikolai?
I'll go to a Broadway show, get 2 T-shirts, and call it a day.
He's
what
really
you got
turned
what's
them
called
down.
the I don't know what, but there's 2 different versions
a-
of your bag.
yes, there is.
There's the there's that and that version. I won't say the
Mhm.
prices and stuff, but then they have a Spider-Man teddy bear
They do.
for $240.
You know, Build-A-Bear's a thing.
And also, my bag was cheaper than the teddy bears for curious
Yeah.
mind
Holy
individuals.
There's a shirt with Black Panther on it for $80.
Yes, they do have a Black Panther. They have several Black Panther.
I'm gonna stop looking this before I have a
Purses.
heart attack.
Yeah. So if you're crazy like me, you can.
It is a very nice bag. very
Yeah,
nice
I
bag.
like Coach. Their quality is very good. So you'll buy a Coach bag. It will last you for years as long as you
I'll
take
try to
care
find
of
it
it.
on Wish.
The Wish
If
version?
you
The
if
Wish
you
version.
buy it on Wish, it will last you 2 weeks. But hey,
Maybe.
Listen, I hear they have great cameras on Wish.
cameras.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna ask about that.
That's
so.
how a movie was just shot, I think, on a Wish camera.
What did it turn out? Did it turn out well? Oh, the one you the one you saw this weekend.
I
I'm
don't-
Did it
assuming.
turn out well?
don't-
And
I don't-
I won't
think-
say anything.
I don't think he legit bought that camera, but during his research, he's like, "Well, I can find the same camera on Wish for $80." I'm like,
Ooh.
"Please don't do that." Yeah.
Wow,
Listen, I
all
get
right.
people.
It'll come in the same box, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I get people are it's tough. It's tough to get equipment to do stuff. Like
It
a lot of
is.
people, like when they ask for podcast advice, I said, "Listen, man, you gotta if you want to get better quality, you gotta bite the bullet and kind of get it." And they're like, "Well, I don't have the
Mhm.
money." I'm like, "I didn't either. I sold a lot of the things I really love,
Right.
so we can sit at this table and speak into a microphone." And we've had a rotating cast a while here, and for me to, if I would have asked some of the original people to like all contribute money, they'd have been like, oh well, I'm leaving, I'm taking this with me. You know what I mean?
That's
And then
messed up.
so
Yeah, that's
I
messed
never
up.
really asked anyone on the show to ever put towards money.
You told us we weren't allowed.
I did for that exact reason.
There was no options.
There was no options. So it's just like if you want to support the show, go buy a T-shirt, and the 68 cents that we get from it will go towards the show. Or if you want to go buy a set of stickers or pins to hand out to people, which I did order interviews at Everyday People pins. I can't do it for every show because they're like $35 a piece or after shipping. So if you guys want pins and you're looking for your own podcast or network, you can go on Sticker Mule. I think it's 50
Mule.
pins for $25 or something right now. But they're awesome, and a lot of people like the pins. I hand them out, and everyone really enjoys them. So yeah, Nikolai, what do you got to plug?
I have nothing to plug. However, I feel like, because I didn't get to say this when we talked about Rocky Horror, I should say it now because I feel like I hated on it so much.
Yeah.
Like just all these weeks of like prep and stuff. I'm so happy it exists because it's another form of theater and musicals that reach people that, like you, for instance.
I don't like theaters.
I love musicals. And
I
stuff.
don't like musicals at all.
You
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
So the fact that you found one that exists and you go to see it, like you go see it multiple times and all that stuff, thrills me.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that it does exist for that reason. I mean, it may not be my cup of tea of a show, not
That's
necessarily because
valid.
of what it's about or any of that kind of stuff. It's just, for me, it just doesn't, I don't get my kicks from it. So I just want that to be known.
Yeah.
I am very happy that show does exist.
It was
for
an
that
inside
reason.
joke between Nikolai and I, and we were sitting here talking. You're like, out of everyone to pick the fucking musical, you did it. Like the two musicals I'm into are Rocky Horror and Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh,
love
that
Little Shop.
Little
Should've
Shop
chose
of
that
Horrors
one.
is good
Yeah.
too.
Love Little
That
Shop.
may come up
It
soon.
is cute.
We do have, may come up later day. That might be a topic.
Well, then we can talk about how I was inside the plant for when we did
You
it in
you
Tamako.
played.
I did not play any of the voices. I was a late addition to be the puppeteer for
you were the
3
character.
of the 4.
Yeah, you were the character though.
And-
You
in the
also
movie.
know my best friend Allie Miller.
I do.
Yeah,
She went
she
to
mentioned that.
Tamako.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
mentioned that to me. She was like,
She's
"Yeah,
a couple years below me in grade.
Yeah.
yeah."
Tamaka's a crazy theater. Like, that's another thing in this area too that people take for granted. Like, obviously, it was like, oh, Friday night football, baby, or
Yeah.
basketball season's coming up, and everything's like, that's the coal region, that's the pride of the coal region. We have really good high school theater
We do.
in our
Yes.
area too.
Mhm.
And
Like,
even like
really good,
the
no matter what
community
school.
theater in Tamako
Shenandoah,
too is
Shenandoah Valley.
really
Just
known.
gonna
Yeah,
A director.
Shenandoah, Monty City, Tamaqua, Pottsville. Like every school in this, pretty much in this area, has a really good fucking theater program.
And you know what I really like about that program? They have an award thing.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
like the
their
the
own
Tonys or whatever.
Tonys.
Yeah.
And it's so cool to get to go and like take your show on the road.
the Majestic Awards.
and do a part of the music or
And
a
the
scene
Majestic,
or whatever.
The Majestic, shout out to these guys real quick, that they do a show, but the only people who are allowed to participate or join the show are like there's an age group where they have to be like from ages 9 to whatever, and
yeah, they
then
have kids shows
and
a
then
lot.
this is but it's bringing the people together who would normally be in a Monty area play and a Shenandoah play and a Pottsville
Yeah.
play, and they all love theater, and then they can kind of converge and bring their skills from their schools to the Majestic Theater
Mhm.
Yeah.
and work together outside of what they normally would work in at the because obviously no matter where you go, you're gonna be like, I love doing theater, but I never got to play the lead because in my school you have to have the right. It's just like football, sports, and everything. You have to have the right last name.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
It does happen. It does.
Yeah,
I know there was a
sometimes.
big complaint.
Yeah, it does. It does definitely happen
Yeah.
on a case.
So now you can kind of. It was kind of like when you were playing your high school sport for a while, and then you're like, I'm gonna go join a travel all-star team, and I'm gonna go play for a coach who has no idea who I am, and I can literally go in there and show my skills. The Majestic kind of does that as well, where it's like you're Joe Nobody from Monterey, and you show up to play in the Majestic Theater, and now you're out of the realm of where you're normally at in your school, and
Yeah.
you can showcase your abilities and interact with other theater kids from other schools and make networks and friendships, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I mean, I did actually a show there, not like a play or anything, but they did a like an onstage thing where people would sing different things.
Mhm.
Like
And
a
it was
cabaret?
mostly like kids. That I
Oh.
don't know exactly what it's
When did you do
technically
it?
considered, a couple years ago.
He snuck in as a
Uh,
kid.
He's
No,
like,
no,
he's
no.
good.
I was
He shaved.
asked because my one friend was in it, and we had just got done Avenue Q. Up
Oh,
in
so that was
Bloomsburg.
years. Oh, at
Yeah.
Blooms. Okay.
So they were like, "Oh, you want to come sing a a couple Christmas songs with us and stuff. So I got to be a part of that, and it was a really cool event.
Oh, that's fun.
So once COVID kind of clears up and those kind of events start to happen, I highly recommend going to them.
Would you now
Yeah.
once COVID's over? Would you throw your name in the hat for Majestic shows, like go audition or try out for stuff late in the future?
Honestly, I would love to.
That's
It-
exciting.
but it all depends about schedules.
Mhm.
That's my big thing. Like the Tamaqua Community Theater. The only reason I did inside the plant puppet work is because it kind of worked better
With
with,
your
my
schedule,
schedule,
yeah.
and I was a late addition. But then the Matt, who's one of the higher up directors, was like, "Well, since
Poirier?
Beetlejuice is now,
Mhm.
available, no, like you can actually do it now.
Yep.
As it's like a what is it?
MTI. Yep. Musical theater. and
It is
theater.
now a script that you can go and
The rights are
rent."
out.
And he was
Oh,
like,
shit. Sorry.
I would really like to like co-direct this with you if we ever did it, and like you could be Adam and stuff. So like going to do shows like that would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
If you guys do Beetlejuice, I'm auditioning. Oh my god.
Hey, now, I know we're running a little late. And I did promise everybody we'll be out here by
Mhm.
11:30. But I have one quick question, then we'll wrap up. Now, is it like if you're part of the Majestic community? Maybe this is a taboo question. If we want to skip over it, we can. But like, if you're part of like the BTE or you're part of this town's theater community, and you're like, fuck, the next town over is doing a show I'm into. I'm gonna go audition for it. Does this one be like, oh, you're gonna go to work with them now?
No.
No, and if they do, then screw them.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a thing.
No, because
No.
I'm involved with the Majestic Theater, the Actors Guild, also the School for Free Shakespeare at the Mansion. So it's like I cover like a lot of the
Yeah.
theater junction that goes out of the
'Cause
library.
that sometimes happens in pro wrestling, where if someone goes and they predominantly work with a company,
Right.
and then they go work with another company, sometimes they're like, well, we're not going to book you to be our champion
So-
anymore because you're going to go give them,
Mhm.
you know, I'm
That's-
like, that's kind of sucks, man. You're like, these people don't get the opportunity to do something they're
Right.
passionate about, and let them go where the work is.
So
Yeah.
that's the beauty of community theaters.
Right.
You're not signed to these places.
you're not
where,
signed,
like,
but they can also
if-
blackball you if you go somewhere.
I don't think they have that much power, to be honest with you.
No.
BTE, on the other hand, they have power
Mhm.
because they are like a whole other world.
Their production is insane.
But like when I was a paid actor intern for them, I was contracted from one start date to the end. So there really was no, I'm gonna go do theater somewhere
Mhm.
else. Not necessarily because I didn't want to, but like a big chunk of my time with them, I was on the road touring a kids show that we took to schools all over.
That's one thing I want to focus on heavily with, especially with interviews with everyday people.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone wants to sit on the show for an interview, depending on how many mics are open, I want to do more like what we did with Majestic with Clue. Like I want to bring more spotlight to the theater scene.
Well,
Mm.
actually, I do kind of have something to plug then, since we're talking about theater and all this kind of stuff. BTE, I believe it is later this month, is releasing their. I don't know if they're going to do multiple or not, but they're doing a horror podcast like radio play type thing that they created. If I
Ooh,
understand
like a World of the
correctly.
World, like the original War of the Worlds, how it was
Kind of,
broadcasted.
yeah.
There's a podcast I did a collaboration with. They did a cryptid podcast, and he
Mhm.
pretty much has voice actors, and they shoot a
I love
podcast like if you're
that.
listening to a radio play.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
much.
I'm excited. I want to hear it.
Yeah. So
Maybe we can do something where one of them come on the show and kind of talk about it, and they can plug it.
yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That would be great.
What do you got to plug?
Just the normal stuff. Just the normal
Links
stuff.
below. No.
Links below. No, for real. Links below. Go ahead, move on.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it. Episode 74. Next week, we are going to talk about the first Insidious movie.
Very
Yeah.
exciting.
So we're going to do Insidious, and then probably that episode we'll talk about next month's movies, our topics. They don't
Mhm.
always have to be movies. You can pick, I mean, you don't have to play the video game. You can just do research like, well, I heard this about the video game, or try to find one or two factoids about it. I already did make one promise for next month. We have to do the second Harry Potter movie.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I got a lot of shit.
maybe
I
one,
told them about the prop cards because
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
mine came in.
maybe
and I had-
every
I-
month we'll do like the next Harry Potter movie.
I'm
That sounds
going to
good.
bring in my like 14-inch Pop Dobby. That's out of the
Aw.
box.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you know that character yet.
I know
but-
what he looks like,
Okay.
but I haven't seen him on screen yet.
Okay. Well, yeah,
This
no, I
guy's giving
haven't seen him
Dobby
on
a
screen.
sock.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he has the sock, so makes it even
So
better.
cute.
So so next week we're going to talk about Insidious, and we're going to wrap up this month and the Halloween. Thank you guys once again for hanging through with us and hanging out. If you are here, even if you're watching the replay, leave some comments during it too, because the comment section, whether it's live or not live, definitely helps the algorithms of letting Facebook and YouTube know that this is popular. So definitely help us out with that. And remember, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs down so that guy who goes and does every single one of our videos has no power. And that'll do it. Not Cool High School. We're out of here. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.